Halloween
forever.
Oh, hey, howdy there, boys. How's your evening going? Progressing well? Yeah, pretty good. Glad to hear it. Hey, I got a new puppy. Kind of exciting news.
Yeah.
But then, some bad news came along with that. Unfortunately, it bit one of the neighbor kids. So we had to kill it. Yeah, we had to put it down. He was going to tell his parents. I mean, we had to do something. Welcome, boys and ghouls, to a very spooky Minisode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I've been robbed.
And I'm Bob.
Guys, I was talking about the kid. That's the joke, right? You thought I was talking about the dog, but they killed the neighbor kid.
The
That's
old
the joke.
switcheroo.
The old switcherooski, guys, really got you there. All right, listen, we are here after a damn old slobber knocker of a showdown for the month of November. This is our second episode, our first minisode of November. And guys, your boy is back on top. The champ is back on the throne. The strap is on its rightful shoulder. If you long time follower the podcast, the once and future champ is back. That's all I'm saying. It feels good. I've been strutting around. I'm going tomorrow morning. Listen, we're recording this on Saturday night. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to the Steeler game. First thing I'm doing, I'm going down bright and early, showing him that belt, getting my discount on some Isley's Chip Chop for ham barbecues, throwing the crock pot in there, getting them good and soft because the champ is back, boys.
And you're going to Brighton Hot Dog Shop.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the new sign? Did you see the new Seinfeld cups, guys? New Brighton Hot Dog Shop cups. Alert out there, Yinzers. New Brighton Hot Dog Shop cups. They're Seinfeld, and guess what? The characters are hot dogs, as they always are, guys. Ooh, if you don't know about that, get in the know, guys.
I just thought it was funny because you said I'm going bright and early, and I was like, and then you go in Brighton Hot Dog Shop.
Bright and early? That's it. When I say bright and early, it's not bright and early. It's bright and early, which means I'm going to be first in line when the hot dog shop opens up. But, to the victor go the spoils, guys. So I got to hand down a little bit of punishment to these rat fucks, these insolent rat fucks. So we watched a fantastic flick that I can tell by the look on these boys' faces they really enjoyed. It's from 2012, The Great Halloween Puppy, The Great Halloween Puppy Adventure, a.k.a. A Halloween Puppy, a.k.a. Magic Puppies. You guys really enjoyed this. I'm excited to talk about it. But we got a couple of things we got to get to before that. First of all, just high level, because I can't wait. It's like Christmas morning here, guys. How'd you enjoy that Magic Puppy situation?
What a piece of shit, dude. This is incomprehensible. And unforgivable. And I am still baffled. Like the thing is, I watched the movie and I say to myself, but who is this against? Who is the real Mark?
Yeah.
Who was this to really go after? Like,
genuinely, we'll get into it. We'll get into it, guys. Before we get
I just got to say this though, quickly. I come from a podcast that covers generally bad movies. For the most part, they're flops, right? And we've watched a lot of schlock, some bad stuff. Ed, which is the Matthew LeBlanc monkey baseball movie. We watched Home Sweet Home Alone, which I think is the reigning shit movie champion on our pod. And we also watched Stuart Saves His Family, which is the Stuart Smalley Al Franken SNL skit movie, which is not good, but is kind of charming in ways. So I've watched a lot of bad stuff, and like this is, it's on a whole nother level. This is like that direct to DVD, direct to some weird cable channel TV movie.
This is a VOD deep cut situation here. Yep. We'll talk about
something.
Well, you know what? Before we get any further here, for those of you who didn't listen to the Showdown episode, first of all, what the fuck are you doing? Second of all, we got Bob from Hops and Box Office Flops. Bob, why don't you introduce yourself real quick? He was kind enough to take his medicine this week. He came on back, didn't win in the Showdown, and said, you know what? We're going to participate in the punishment episode. Unlike Meg, who just bails, doesn't take her medicine.
No, Meg participated.
Oh, she did. Ben didn't.
Ben skipped town.
That's right. Ben did.
He knew better.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm starting beefs with Meg. I always like to start a beef with Meg because that storyline always gets fun. But no,
it's a good storyline.
Ben was the rat. Ben was the rat fuck who didn't show up to take his medicine. Bob, respect. He came back to take his medicine. Thank you, Bob, for joining us once again. Anything good happened between now and then, in addition to the great Halloween puppy adventure?
No, I mean, this has really been the highlight of my last week. Honestly, spending this time watching this movie. I watched it with my daughter. She was confused. And she's like, Dad, why are we watching this? I'm like, it's not important. Just I'll get you more popcorn. Just push through it.
Daddy's got to take his medicine. That's what you tell him.
Dad deserves this.
I'm at work right now.
I do blame though my good friend and fellow podcast host, the head of Hops and Box Office Flops, the Thunderous Wizard, aka the writer TLK, aka my buddy Tom. Yeah, thanks for nothing, pal. You really just sent me up the river on this one.
He really hung you out to dry. Yeah, he deserves to get kicked right square in the nuts next time you see him. But before, we got some other stuff we got to deal with before we get into the heart of the matter here and talk about the Great Puppy Adventure, aka Magic Puppy, aka a Halloween Puppy from 2012. I'm going to continue to say
why? Okay, stop. I've got to ask the question now. Why does this movie have 4 different titles?
If you look it up on IMDb.
To trick the marks, but I don't know who the marks are.
I'll tell you who the mark. So I'm a little confused about this specific movie, but we'll get into the director because he has a series of marks that are pretty interesting. But if you look it up on IMDb, it'll come up as the Great Halloween Puppy Adventure from 2012. But then right underneath it says original title, A Halloween Puppy. But if you look it up on YouTube and you want to watch the full version of this, I think it runs about an hour and 20 something minutes. You're going to want to look up A Magic Puppy or just Magic Puppy. And the DVD cover, or perhaps it's the thumbnail from the VOD app or wherever it ended up, I don't know, but it reads Brady Bunch's Susan Olsen, A Magic Puppy. Guys, she ain't the puppy. She doesn't show up till halfway through the movie. It's real fucking wild, guys. I got a lot to say about it. Let's get some of these housekeeping things out of the way up top so we can spend as much time talking about this film as humanly possible. First of all, boys, do we got a beer here we want to talk about? Maybe you drinking some beers? All right. What are you drinking on there, Steve?
I got double drinks. I'm going to need double drinks.
Yeah.
But quick story. I've been on the hunt for the new Dunkin' Donuts spiked coffee drinks.
Yeah.
I can't find them.
Okay.
That's a thing?
Yeah, they're a thing. They're a thing now in 2023, but I can't find them. They're not out yet. I went to a distro, and the distro had the spiked iced tea, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the coffees. But they had a sign that said
Dunkin' Donuts spiked iced tea?
Yeah, those are out now.
Interesting.
And
all right.
They had a sign next to the spiked iced teas that said coffee coming soon. So I said, okay, that sucks. I didn't get it. But what I did find is my good friend Rebels. The good friend Rebel. Ooh,
I forgot about those rat fucking. Yeah, we drank a couple of those back in the day. I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Which flavor did you grab? Or did you get a little mixy pack situation?
I got the holiday limited edition a pack.
Oh, I'm eager to hear.
So in the limited edition a pack, they have the marshmallow mocha latte.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. They have what I'm drinking now, which is the cinnamon sugar cookie hard latte.
Cinnamon sugar cookie? I would maybe fuck with that. All right.
It's honestly not bad. I think you would like this one the most out of the pack.
I mean, I will hate all of them, but some of them I'll be able to stomach. Anything marshmallow flavored, I'm probably out on. It's just going to be cloyingly sweet.
Yeah, you would hate the marshmallow one. I think you would like this one. And then on deck, I have the peppermint mocha latte, which that one's my favorite. I
fuck with a peppermint mocha. I love peppermint anything. I'm a peppermint guy, so I probably would like that.
And tis the season.
Yeah. Tis the season. Indeed it is.
The fourth one in the pack, which I believe I made you and Meg drink on sometime in the first year of this show, was the eggnog hard latte.
Oh yeah. No. That one was strange because I'm a big nog guy. I'm pro nog, and I love nog with some bourbon, some rum, some brandy. I'll drink a nog flavored whatever, but I remember it being dog shit.
So do you fuck with the pre-mixed like whiskey nogs, like the Evan Williams stuff?
I have tried them before, like at people's houses. I don't buy them regularly. For a while was a real nog snob, and I would make my own nog. Like temper eggs, do the whole thing. But then eventually I just said, you know what? Getting down with a little Marburger nog, nice Marburger refrigerated non-alcoholic, just regular old, half gallon of nog. What are you laughing about, Steve?
I just realized that we probably are going to have a shirt for the holiday season that says snob on my nog.
Oh no.
I did say knob snog. Wait, not knob snog.
Brilliant.
I used to be a nog snob, but now I just use, like I said, I get down on some Marburger and I just pour a little Wild Turkey 101. Hit it with the stuff. Hit it with the nutmeg, and I'm good to go.
I don't mean that stuff. I'm down in the deep south, and that stuff sells out like crazy, and I just don't get it. I've tried it. Yeah. It's okay, but I'm with you, Brian. I think mixing up yourself is the right way to go.
I like a creamy nog, boys. You understand me? Yeah. And I also drink it out of. I have the Clark Griswold Wally World glasses as well. So
same. Yeah. Clutch,
so I go full bore. I put on my Griswold Blackhawks jersey. Sometimes I even scare myself a little bit. I look in my closet, I see all my Pens jerseys, and I look and go, where did I get up? Oh, and then I remember that's my Griswold double zeros. Pull that out for Christmas sometimes.
Excellent.
Anyway, all right, you know what? I would fuck with the peppermint one. I don't know about the nog one there, but I do fuck with the nog.
On some nogs. Let's go.
We got a couple different shirts in the works here, boys. Speaking of slobbing over there, Bob, what's Bob slobbing on over there? I see is it Steel Reserve?
No, I felt it was appropriate for the occasion.
Yeah,
and I know that Steve is a fellow Steel Reserve fan, and this movie made me want to make my ramen for lunch with Steel Reserve.
Yeah.
Just to take the edge off, it would have made things more normal.
Right.
So I'm just enjoying some
classic 211.
Awful 211 malted beverage is delicious, and helping erase the Halloween puppy, this whatever this movie's called. It's helping erase it from my brain.
The Great Halloween Puppy Adventure, aka Magic Puppy.
Oh my god!
I'm going for effect here, boys, a little bit too. Although I am going, I'm going with a perennial favorite, which I didn't think I had last year. Is Sierra Nevada Norwal Imperial Stout.
Yeah, oh hell yeah!
Love this one. Big boy, up over 10%. That's rich.
The good stuff.
Yeah, nice hop character to it when it's fresh, and then I've got bottles of this. They're 4 and 5 years old that drink fantastic still. I held on to them for some consecutive years, and then I fucked up and didn't get any last year, so I messed up my vertical of it. But this is just one of the best imperial stouts on the market, especially if you like one that's not too, like so many of them now are like under attenuated, syrupy, nasty. This has got some dryness to it. It's got some hoppiness when it's fresh. It's got that little anisey kind of tinge to it, which I really enjoy. And grab me a 6-pack of this. So I'm going to down a couple of these. Had a couple cocktails with dinner already, guys. I'm ready to talk puppies is what I'm trying to say.
Oh boy.
That just reminded me. It's been like I've had that beer more recently, but it made me think about how I haven't had a Bell's Expedition Stout in a long time.
Oh, that's a great one too. Now that's a little bit on the it's not cloying by any means, but that's a little richer Not quite as much hop character, like I said, when fresh. The Norwal is a pretty aggressively hopped beer.
Yeah.
When it's fresh. So
what's the release schedule like on the Narwhal? Because we've done that on the Hops and Box Office Flops pod a couple of times.
I think that hits in it's either October or November.
Okay, so it should be available now.
Yeah,
I have not seen it in the stores by me, but I've definitely picked it up in the past, and it is solid.
Yeah, it's not a holiday themed beer or anything like that, but it hits right before the holiday. Yeah. It hits in like the late fall kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's just kind of a winter seasonal for them.
I just haven't seen it yet. Gotta look harder.
Where the hell did I get it? Oh, I got it out JR's there in Rochester.
You went JR's? Hey, okay.
Yeah, I went up JR's.
Not the Giant Eagle?
Nah, this didn't come from Giant Eagle. This came up JR's. Came up JR's way. Got myself some honey. Got some more of them honey mustard pretzels. Steve, you remember from that? They weren't even honey mustard. Yeah. They were just mustard, yellow mustard.
Yeah, they're just pretzels.
Mustard. All right, boys. Okay, so for those of you who are new to the podcast, here's how it goes. We do a tasty little episode every dang old Monday. First Monday of every month, however, is what we call a showdown episode, where we have a whole bunch of topics on a big old spinny wheel. Those could be subgenres, they could be performers, they could be whatever. We spin it, we take 3, we'll put them out on the social medias, mainly Instagram and Twitter. We let y'all pick on what you want the topic for that showdown to be. You vote on it. Once we have it, we each pick a movie associated with it, me, Steve, and our guest. November Showdown, which was last week, was revenge horror, and your boy took home that son of a bitch and strap. I took home the championship belt for the month of November. That means I get the punishment episode on the very next week. December gonna be a little bit different. For those who've been following us, this is our 3rd Christmas season. We like to get down with some Christmas horror, some spooky shit around the holiday season. We do a little something called Secret Satan every year, kind of like Secret Santa, except for, we worship his infernal majesty whenever we can. And that's the case around the holidays as well. So Secret Satan, guys, but we're going to do it a little bit different this year. We're going to specifically make the topic for our December Secret Satan Showdown is going to be just holiday horror, right? Specifically Christmas time, but you know what? It could be Hanukkah. It could be whatever type of winter holiday horror is out there. And this is how it's going to work. Instead of doing the spinny ass wheel, now that we have a Patreon, right? And if you want to check that out, you go to patreon.com/Halloween is forever. If you're a patron of our Patreon, you can go on and suggest a movie. You can suggest even a specific movie for a specific person. You can even suggest a guest potentially for us. Now, we can't force somebody to come on here as a guest, but all of those suggestions will be taken into consideration. We'll try our very damn hardest to accommodate as many of those as possible. If we happen to have 3 Patreon suggestions, we have more than 3 patrons, obviously, but then we'll go and we'll pick 3 movies. But let's say we have 20 or 30 of our patrons go on and suggest specific movies. Then we'll put those on the spinny wheel and pull them that way. Either way, you're going to have a relatively high chance that the movie that you suggest is going to end up on the showdown episode for December. That's the first Monday in December. Also, we're going to take into account kind of a first come, first serve type situation. So if we've got longtime patrons, can't be that long time. We only been having a Patreon for about 4 months now.
Right.
But if you're one of our OG patrons that go on there and suggest something, we'll definitely take that into consideration and probably pick your movie as long as it's something we haven't done in the past.
So if you're Dan listening to this, Dan's one of our OG patrons. If Dan's listening to this and Dan says, I really, really, really want Steve to defend Rare Exports, there's a good chance that'll just happen.
Right.
Now, if you're a newbie and you sign up this month and you go on and you say, hey, just fucking Krampus, and we'll go, okay. And, maybe that gets added to the wheel, or if nobody else says Krampus, we'll see what happens. But,
right.
It's kind of, we're kind of working by the ear. We change this damn thing every year so far. Secret Satan has never been the same every year at this point. So we're figuring this one out.
And also, if you have any concerns, comments, anything like that, I will refer you back to a rule that we've had from the very beginning of the podcast, which is, for you to go fuck yourself. You can just straight up fuck yourself. This is a free podcast. Unless you're a patron, which in that case we will absolutely take your suggestion into consideration.
If you message us on Instagram, well, we might tell you go fuck yourself. If you message us on Patreon, well, then we won't. We'll take you into consideration because you're giving us money.
That's true. That's true. That's how it works, guys. Yeah. So get on there. If you have been thinking about it, maybe you've been on the fence. Maybe you've been wanting to go on there and subscribe on the Patreon. What do you get over there, Steve? Why don't you give them a little quick rundown of what we get on the Patreon? Try to urge these folks to get on there and take that leap and sign up for the Patreon. Yeah. So, like Brian said, we're doing the Secret Satan this year, and that's going to be open to both tiers. So you can sign up for the $3 tier if you want, and $3 tier gets you a couple 2 treat things. Can get you episodes early. You can get like anything that gets written, because we have a whole 31 days of horror recommendations, but also I do monthly movie reviews. Not all of them are horror, but it's just kind of, you get a monthly movie review roundup of like everything else I watch. Recos.
Yeah, juicy recos. Everything I watch for the month.
Mm-hmm. So, Steve, how much do I have to donate to get you to review It's a Wonderful Life?
It's a Wonderful Life, or It's a Wonderful Knife?
Life.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Stewart, the one that I like.
I mean, $3. If you $3,
that's
if you pay $3,
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
If you pay $3 and then you go on there and you say, "Hey, Steve, can you review this movie?" Then I probably will. If you're a paying customer, you're paying for writing. I mean, that's the way things have been forever since ever.
Pay for play, brother. Got
it. Yeah. But you don't really want the $3 tier. That's a teaser. That's a trick.
Tell me more.
The thing about the $3 tier is you can also get a 7-day free trial with that, just to check some things out. But what you really want is you want the $5 tier. $5 tier gets you all the things we were just talking about. And it gets you on the Discord, so you can jump on and watch episodes happen live. You get here some backstage talk sometimes. You see behind the curtains. You get to see all the fun collectibles on Brian and Bob's shelves, or whatever the guest is. You can see us drinking 211 or drinking fucking Rebel Heart coffees. You can see it all happen live in front of your face.
Yep. And you could, you could be throwing your suggestions in the chat right now. You could be first in the mark here.
And I'm way uglier, than I sound. So it's kind of an exciting experience to see this.
We're all uglier.
You guys are going to shit your pants when you see what we look like.
Just terrifying.
Yeah. We're all way ugly and old. It's gross. Come for the show. But you get all that, and you get the exclusive monthly podcast, Family is Forever.
Oy vey, I'll go as far as saying.
I mean, this is the reason why I can't be too mad at Brian, because I understand he's just lashing out with a magic puppy because I make him do a Fast and the Furious podcast on the side, and he hates that. He's just lashing out.
Bad.
I feel like that is related. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of buried emotions, coming out from what Steve, forces me to do here. So if you like the Fast and the Furious franchise and you're a fucking stooge, then come on over and listen to the podcast. If you're like me and you can you barely stomach it without vomiting, then you're going to like this podcast as well, because that's essentially what it is. It's Steve making me watch all these movies. I've never seen them, one by one. Then we talk about them. They're fucking trash. We talk about how much I hate them. And now, unfortunately, the entire thing has started to evolve into something that's really harming my personal life as well. And I'm pretty sure I'm being gang stalked as a result of it. So It really sucks, you guys. So if you want to hear this shit, it blows. The talking about it's fun. Sucks for me. Come on over to patreon.com/Halloween's Forever and listen to Families Forever. It's a totally different podcast. We have like little segments. It's the oil check. Steve checks into my mental health, see how we're progressing throughout the movie. Spoiler alert, guys. Ain't going great. Going bad. We're about to do Fast 5 here, and the fact that there's like 5 to 6 more movies is troubling to me. So, that's where we're at.
But for the audience, check out this value. Fast 5, that's the 5th movie. We're in November, and you're going to get Fast 5. You're going to get Fast and the Furious. You're going to get Tokyo Drift. You're going to get Too Fast and the original Fast and the Furious movie. All of those podcasts, that's like $1 a piece now. If you're signing up, in November.
That's a steal.
There's something deranged about somebody paying $1 for like a significant portion of my brain to die. You know,
isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Which one is the one where Paul Walker says, "Cuz"?
That's Too Fast.
It's all of them, guys. It's all of them. All of them I've seen so far.
To be fair, that's like the low point. It's actually all uphill from there.
No, because Too Fast, he says it the most. Is like Too Fast is the one where he's calling Tyrese "cuh" like all the time. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, "cuh," and it's like, ew. But listen, even as bad as that movie is, Fast Ampersand is just the drizzling shits of like unwatchable.
We just finished Fast Ampersand Fury, which is the fourth Fast Ampersand Furious. And it was so unbelievable and unwatchable that I would love to believe. And this is what I mean by gang stalking, you guys, because now Bob's in on it. And Bob is saying it only goes up from here. And guess what? People have been saying that since the first movie, and it doesn't. Rat fucks.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So hold on here. Just complete aside. Ampersand. Are you gentlemen familiar with the origin of that word?
I just assume it's from Amsterdam.
Fun fact. This is true. In the original version of the alphabet song, it was XYZ and per se and.
Huh.
Because, that was a symbol.
Yeah.
It didn't have a name, but it was the and symbol. So it's XYZ and per se and.
Huh. It's weird that they would teach them that one punctuation, but not like and
commas, semicolons.
Yeah.
But that was because it was, I think it was part of the typeset. That was just like one of the common typesets, and it was like a common, I guess maybe the first conjunction or whatever. But yeah, there you go. And per se and ampersand. Boom, done.
Guys.
And I'm going to drink some more Steel Reserve after that. That's like, I blacked out. What happened there? I don't know what's going on. We're talking about dog movies. Don't
let anyone tell you we never taught you nothing, guys.
Yeah. Dog movies.
Speaking
Eric
of
Roberts. Hey, also, I was this year, today old, whatever, when I learned that Eric Roberts is Julia Roberts' brother.
Yeah, you mentioned that at last episode, the Steel Reserve.
I'm still shocked. Like, how do they go my entire adult life not knowing that's Julia Roberts' brother? Wow.
Because she doesn't want you to know that.
Apparently not. I guess I get it now. Okay, moving on. He was good in The Dark Knight.
Well, especially when you see him young, like a young Eric Roberts, you can see the resemblance for sure.
Yeah, he's got way too many teeth.
Yeah, he's got like 1,000 teeth. He's like a shark. But yeah, so I mean, you would know him from, most people would probably know him from The Dark Knight, but also going way back to 1985, Runaway Train, Inherent Vice from, I don't know fucking how many years ago that was. He's in The Expendables. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Was he like in Dr. Drew's Rehab?
I'm sure he was. He's a real disaster. He has 761 acting credits on IMDb, which is maybe the most of anybody I've ever seen. Working is a strong word when it comes to this movie, and this is not his only movie where he partnered up with this here director, guys. Once again, we're talking about 2012's The Great Halloween Puppy Adventure, a.k.a. a Halloween puppy, a.k.a. a magic puppy, guys, directed by David DeCoteau, or DeCoteau. I guess it's DeCoteau.
David DeCoteau.
DeCoteau. DeCoteau. If you want to check him
French?
Out. He is Canadian, so yes.
Canadian. Yeah. He is a Canadian / he's actually a dual citizen, you guys. In case you give a fuck about this guy. He has been in the industry a long time. So there's a couple different things you'll see about him. One, he has 180 directing credits on IMDb, and he has directed just in the last...
Some may call him the Eric Roberts of directors.
Since COVID, he has directed 50 movies.
He is definitely the Uwe Boll of Canada.
Uwe Boll doesn't even work this much. Are you kidding?
No, not even close. This is the interesting thing about this is he has different, area. Like when you go through this many directing credits on IMDb, you're going to find some trends here. There's a couple things you're going to see that get progressively more interesting as you go back through his catalog, kind of chronologically from the present backwards. So I'll kind of explain what I mean by that. First of all, he has about, I'm just going to guess, 100 of those 180 movies that either start with the wrong, as in the wrong. These are literally, I'm just reading what's on. So this has just happened to be somewhere I scrolled down randomly from like late 2019 into early 2020. The Wrong Cheerleader, The Wrong Stepfather, The Wrong Wedding Planner. These are consecutive, guys. The Wrong House Sitter. Then jump down 2 more movies. The Wrong Cheerleader, The Wrong Tutor, The Wrong Mommy. So he has a bunch of movies that are just called The Wrong Something. Most of them star or at least heavily feature Vivica A. Fox. Then there is a million movies intertwined with these movies called A Christmas Blank, right? So as you might imagine, A Christmas Puppy is one of those. A Christmas Cruise. A
Christmas for Mary.
Yeah. It's just A Christmas Everything. Now,
A Husband for Christmas.
There is a lot of movies that also share those two. So I'll give you an example because I'm going to do a bad job describing it. There is The Wrong Cruise, but there's also A Christmas Cruise.
Christmas Cruise.
There is The Wrong Husband, but there's also A Christmas Husband.
A Husband for Christmas.
A Husband for Christmas. Yeah. So my point is, I have a theory here. What he does, and I've not watched really any of these movies, but what he does is he gets a cast together, a location, schedules a shooting, whatever, and then he decides that he is going to kind of double down and do a direct to VOD. They're not even like Hallmark quality by any stretch of the imagination. These are like worse than direct to Tubi. These are floating around on some free dog shit website somewhere. And he does like, yeah, go ahead.
So I'll pause you for a sec. I see the road you're going down, and I don't think it's quite. I think you're kind of on the right track, but not quite. So
I don't think it's one for one.
Yeah,
right?
So I think what he does do is like he gathers the cast, and then he does a bang bang and he shoots 2 movies basically at the same time. But the Wrong Film series is what it's called. It's a series that was produced by Vivica A. Fox.
Yes, right. They don't have a Wrong Boyfriend and A Christmas Boyfriend don't have the same cast necessarily. But I think when he like writes these movies, it's just switching around a few things, making it about a boyfriend, making it about a tutor, making it about a stepsister, whatever.
And he probably recycles. I haven't seen all of them or anything, but he probably recycles a lot of the locations too. Yeah. So like he does the Wrong series, and the Wrong series is for Lifetime. So he's actually working.
Are they Lifetime?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's
working.
Fox,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So he's working for Lifetime when he makes the Wrong films. But at the same time, I bet he's also using any extra days he has left over on rentals or anything like that to shoot A Husband for Christmas or A Talking Cat or something, all this other
there is one called A Talking Cat. I did see that.
Yeah.
And who do you think taught him that technique?
Both Roger Corman and Charles Band, because that's
there you go.
That's who he. I mean, David DeCoteau is a fascinating director to look at as far as working directors.
He also likes to work under pseudonyms.
Yeah.
Extensively.
Yeah. So I was going to get to that. So just kind of a little more into his history. He got his start in porn. For sure. He did.
Well, that was the other thing, because in addition to poor people who can't afford streaming services that cost money, or sad alone people that sit and watch Lifetime channel all day long.
I'm Brian, I'm right here. That hurts.
Well, Lifetime, you can watch Hallmark Channel. Lifetime is like the dog shit version of Hallmark Channel.
Yes.
But here's, and I think you might be able to get it with like an antenna kind of situation or something. Here's the other thing that's weird, getting into the porn thing, is he's got another mark. And that mark is people who want to watch softcore gay porn but don't want the title of a softcore gay porn to be either on the screen or downloaded on their VOD, because a lot of these were back in the early 2000s, late 90s. So he would make a film called Alien Encounter: Aliens Getcha, but it's softcore gay porn.
And I mean, the one we talked about after we finished recording last week was Bigfoot versus DB Cooper. And that film is literally just hunks in a cabin. It's not either of those things. It's not Bigfoot or DB Cooper. It's hunks in a cabin. But I was talking, he actually got started with real porn.
Yes.
If you go to his original, his first couple films were like Good Men Go Bad, fucking Revenge of the Babes, Bad Boys Dormitory. Those were his original films. Then he got hooked up with Roger Corman and Charles Band, and he directed Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl, Bowl-orama.
Yeah,
classic.
Genuinely a very enjoyable and insane movie.
Yeah, that movie rules. He directed one of my really early Pegger Tuckers. Pegger, just like Pegger Pullers, as I was a young kid. It's called Petticoat Planet. That movie,
that kind of pegging. You were pegging your own peg. Got it.
Yeah, not pegging in my butt.
I was like, Steve, that's revealing. But
also,
continue.
Also, I've been having too many drinks, and I was trying to say Pecker Puller is what I was trying to say.
But you said Pegger.
No, got it. It's okay.
It's a Freudian slip. We know what a Freudian slip is.
We're not
guys.
here to
Moving
judge.
on.
Brother.
It's fine. But no, when you're trying to say Petticoat Planet, the Pecker Puller, that it all just runs together.
A lot of P's. A lot of P's
quite a
and
mouthful.
E's. Got it.
Yeah, it all just runs together. But yeah, that was always on Cinemax at night. And then he did he's done a couple of the Puppet Master movies. So he has
one, which I have seen. I have seen Puppet Master 3.
And
which
also
I was shocked.
And also Retro Puppet Master. And I think he did a more recent one that's about the Nazis.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask, one of the are those any good? Because I've seen the first 3. I think that's it.
I think whichever one, the curse of the Puppet Master, I think was, if I recall, kind of sucked. I'm not a huge fan of the Puppet Master franchise outside of the first 3, and then The Littlest Reich was okay, I guess. I mean,
let's be honest. USA Up All Night, that was pretty much my introduction to that series.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that'll get you there. And then probably his other just really big name movie that everybody should watch and know about is The Killer Eye. It's just a really gross fucking horny, unnecessarily horny, but gross. About a killer eye, and then the eye does rapes with its eye stalk. So check that one out.
Wait, aren't you the eye stuff guy?
No, I'm the gym stuff guy.
Oh,
he's into gym stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is, Prehysteria 3, Young Blood, Fresh Meat, Beach Babes 2, Cave Girl Island. You get the idea of what you're getting from this guy.
Yeah. But that is, I think that's more representative. All of that stuff is more representative of what David DeCoteau likes to do. And then there's the stuff he does under the pseudonyms. And that's all for marks and dopes for him to catch. Because this movie is under or at least at one point, it was under the pseudonym Mary Crawford, as well as a bunch of like a talking cat is under a Mary Crawford. I think a talking pony is under a Mary Crawford, and magic Easter bunny puppy or whatever it was.
Magic Easter puppy. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the movies, although I love Sorority Babes and Sly Bolorama, some of these movies I like. I'm a sucker for anything that is just a shameless, ill-advised cash grab attempt to get confused with another movie. Yeah. Something about that and its shamelessness is so entertaining to me. And this movie, along with a bunch of the other ones we just named, are essentially there are a series of movies, we've all seen them, that is like Christmas puppies, blah blah blah, right? So it'll be like it's like they're bad, but they have like CGI puppies talking on screen. It probably started with the 80s,
Air Bud.
Well, even before Air Bud,
Isn't it like the third Look Who's Talking movie that they move away from the babies and get to the dogs?
Yeah, you're right. It probably actually goes more back to that. They did the Look Who's Talking. Then they did like the third one, which I think, like you said, was dogs. And then there was the whole like Santa Paws series, right? Mm-hmm. So it was Santa Paws. There was a bunch of, puppies that are saving Christmas or whatever. And then there's a whole bunch of ones after that. And they actually had like some following, right? Especially among kids on VOD. And then this is essentially a shameless attempt to spend like a few $1,000s on a movie and hope enough people accidentally mistake it for one of those movies. An unwitting babysitter or grandma might put this on thinking it's one of those other movies. But this is decidedly a family movie, right? This is not a horror movie by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing
absolutely
on the surface that is inappropriate about this movie, but there is so much just below the surface that feels so horrible. And we'll talk about it here in a second. You can just feel in every single moment really of this movie that these performers would probably be more comfortable, or at least at the very least, the writing and directing is heavily influenced by porn. Every scene, the dialogue, the way the characters interact feel like they are right. They are all just about to fuck each other all the time. They're like very uncomfortable.
They're like 2 steps away because they haven't made it to the flirting section because there's like,
but they're right there. They're right pre-flirt.
The setups are there. The setups are definitely there.
Yeah. It's porn scene setups of like, hey, you're my mom and I'm getting bullied, or hey, I'm having breakfast, or hey, I don't like your new boyfriend, whatever it is.
Mom comes home tired and frustrated from work and wakes up her stepson in bed. It's there. It's right there. It doesn't happen.
2 hunky boys are bullying me.
Yeah.
But
not in like a violent way, in like I kind of like it way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're not hitting me. They're just kind of like being rough and aggressive, and they're bigger and they're hunkier than me. And I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's wild, guys. You got to check it out. All right. So start out, the intro is like this intro / title card, which I was laughing right from the beginning. We should also say, because Bob had a question for me earlier, which is where I found this movie. Is that what you wanted to circle back to?
No, I'm going to jump in here and say I've never seen a movie pad its runtime this heavily with the opening credits. Holy shit.
And the whole movie is padding.
Where the fuck did you find this, Brian? Where the fuck did you find this? I'll ask it now.
Here's what I do, guys, right? I smoke a little bit of that wacky tobacco, right? And then I go down these rabbit holes of the stupidest movies you can find. And if you go on and you find like, this is a dumb movie, this is a crazy movie, you'll find movies like Sorority Babes and the Sly Bolorama, for example, or you'll find, The Room, stuff like that, where it's like everyone knows about these movies. These are like these are not too far. These are not too far down in terms of peeling back the layers of the onion. Mm-hmm. I want to go 1 past that, right? I want to go 5 past that if I can. So this is how I found movies like, The Boxer's Omen, for example, which is one of my all-time favorites. But I would have never found The Boxer's Omen if I wouldn't have, went deep diving down Reddit and YouTube for these fucking movies. I found some guy on a Reddit thread somewhere that people were talking about, you know, these like Shanghai movies and, you know, all this craziness. And then somebody just wrote a Halloween puppy, and that was it. And there was no other comment. There was no like, here's where to find it. So I searched for on and off for like a week trying to find where I could find a Halloween puppy, and I couldn't find it. And IMDb wasn't helping me. I couldn't find. And then finally I found it as a magic puppy. And I realized that was the same movie. It is the same as a Halloween puppy, same as the Great Halloween Puppy Adventure. So I found this on Reddit, and I sat down and watched it. And again, I may or may not have, you know, been, you know, participating in some illicit drug use, and I was floored by this movie. I couldn't believe it was real. I couldn't believe it still existed in the world. And from the very beginning, from these title card intros, I was pissing my pants laughing, because it's like, it looks like somebody who had made like, it was like a high school editing project for like Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, just like
it's PowerPoint. The movie opens with PowerPoint.
Well, it's just like, it's like slightly above that, but it's just like, the worst part of it is like, hey, here's a pumpkin, here's a Frankenstein, and then here's a black and white picture of a puppy.
It is 3 minutes of an After Effects template with stock photo dogs. They're not even the same dog. Not even the same dog. They're stock photo dogs. I could find Draculars.
Then a beagle with like chewing on a little heart.
Yeah, and then the sounds of dogs over Halloween music. And I swear to fucking God, I could put together this exact same intro same day if I really tried. I could find every one of those elements on my stock you know, footage library.
Spooky skeleton, picture of a puppy. Yeah. Gravestone, picture of a puppy.
And all the puppies, all the pictures of the puppies.
Frankenstein puppy.
All the pictures of the puppies have like a blue filter over them. So it looks like that they're dead dogs. Like, here in memoriam of all these dead dogs.
Oh, yes.
It's exactly what it feels like. It feels like, hey, this person died, turned into a zombie. Hey, this dog died too. Here's a dead dog. Spooky dead dog.
There's a dead dog next to a Frankenstein. And then also here's sounds of dogs barking.
It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. The whole thing. Well, let's get into the movie here, because we're literally 3 minutes in. So this is going to be a 4-hour podcast on the Great Halloween Puppy Adventure. But the whole thing takes place in a house that 100% is a porn set, right? Like,
yes,
there's no way it's not a porn set. It's 100% a porn set. It's this big.
I got a semi just seeing the opening shot. I'm like, oh, I've been here before.
It's this giant, like, gaudy, tacky house for an idiot. Mm-hmm. Like, if you live in this house, you're a moron. Like, you're a total piece of garbage.
Can we talk about the model of the speedboat?
Yeah, there's a model of there's a model of like a Volkswagen Beetle at some point too. I saw. Yeah. I don't. It's just like some absolute dog. Yeah, dog shit human.
Porn house. Got it.
Yeah, and they have to explain right away why this like struggling single mom working nights lives in this like tacky McMansion in the Hollywood, you know, I'll be a little bit beyond in, what do they call it? Like in the valley, right?
Yeah,
that's where all this.
Yeah, they're somewhere in the valley.
It's not Van Nuys.
Right, exactly. It's not Van Nuys, which is where they moved out of, but apparently Van Nuys is really close. The other thing is this house is also, I swear to God, it's the same exact house from A Talking Cat, which, because I've seen,
I'm sure it is.
I've seen A Talking Cat, and I through Riff Tracks. Riff Tracks does A Talking Cat that you can watch.
Oh,
and
okay.
So I've seen it there. I would never try to watch that movie on its own. But like, I swear to God, it's the same house, and I'm sure it gets recycled in a bunch of other, you know, DeCoteau movies, because that's just what he does. Yeah. He's just like, because honestly, when you break down the amount of time actors are on camera in this house, it can't be more than like 2 weeks of shooting.
2 weeks. I
I'm being conservative when I say it can't be more than 2 weeks. It can't be
4 days.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if you told me this whole thing was shot in a day and a half, I wouldn't argue it. I believe it.
Yeah, I'm also giving it 2 weeks because, the one actress, the mom that we already mentioned, Christine DeBelle, she's in more of these movies. So I assume she's shooting all of her parts. She's also in A Talking Cat. So I'm assuming she's shooting
time.
Yeah, she's shooting all her parts for the Halloween Puppy Adventure, an Easter Bunny Puppy, and A Talking Cat all at the same time. And then
I'm sure they're shooting 5 movies simultaneously.
Yeah.
Apparently she was also in Playboy in her heyday.
Yeah, in her heyday.
This all makes a lot of sense. So you get introduced to a few characters here. First of all, it's Adam, who is he apparently, I don't know if he still works in any capacity. I'm looking him up here for the first time. Let's see if he's still out there. I mean, he's really known from movies in the 2010s. He hasn't been in anything since 2018.
He had great Justin Bieber hair.
He was going for the Justin Bieber hair at this point. Let's just make sure he's not dead. He does not appear to be dead, you guys. I think he's just kind of out of the industry at this point.
You're saying there's still a chance.
So it's just I don't know his whereabouts at this point.
Let's try to push him to the edge here.
He is.
We've got an opportunity here. Let's not waste it.
He should never have been allowed to act. Right. And I'm not even just saying that to be mean.
He wasn't bad. He's not the worst part of this movie.
Yes, he is.
He's tied for the worst with everyone else simultaneously, but he's unbelievably bad.
I think he was given a terrible script. I think that kid was fine.
Who's worse? Maybe Linda? Maybe Christine DeBelle?
No, his girlfriend's the worst.
Molly? At least Molly is trying to do something. It's bad. It's Kristen Stewart. She's trying to be Kristen Stewart, but instead she seems like Tara Reid on meth. But
I don't think she's actually European though, right?
Oh, I have no fucking idea.
If she's European, then she's Polish because her last name is Szymanski, and I'm not going to put up with that.
Well, I'm just saying that's why her accent was so bad, because she was trying hard not to have an accent, but she clearly did have an accent.
I don't even know that I picked up on the accent.
No, I don't think.
I didn't pick up on an accent. I just think she was
fighting it. She was fighting an accent.
No, I think she's just fighting to act.
Yeah,
she's just fighting to say her lines.
Is that what it was? I thought it was just her fighting the accent because her delivery was unnatural.
I think she's so bad at acting that it felt like English wasn't her first language, which is really an accomplishment in itself.
Now I'm a little heartbroken here because if that's the case, I totally misread this movie.
Yeah, wow. I don't know that 100%, but okay. So you have those two; they're terrible.
It's not a good couple.
No. Then you have Linda, who's Adam's mom. She delivers lines like she's delivered lines before, but she's delivering them like she's in a different movie than everybody else, and she doesn't care. And that's probably because she's filming 5 movies simultaneously. And she's also a very bad actor, but it's almost feels wrong to say that in comparison to, like, for example, the Adam, who is top 10 worst actors I've ever seen in my life. He's Paul Walker level bad. And Paul Walker, people have spent millions of dollars trying to get him to be a good actor, and he's still bad. So shame on him. This kid just has absolutely no talent whatsoever. Then you have Eric Roberts, who is the only one who has acting experience, but he's just showing up for like 2 hours, and they gave him like a couple C notes and a case of beer, and like that's what it feels like he's there for.
And some voice work. Yeah. I'm very uncomfortable with the way he licks the caramel off the inside.
Guys, we're going to get to it. That's just problematic. Everything's very sexually charged. And I hate it.
Very weird, maybe very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They didn't tell him what the rating of this film was going to be.
No, he was confused. There's a lot of voiceover stuff that's very unnecessarily horny. Anyway, we get a couple other tertiary characters we'll talk about as they come along, but the last one we should mention because she's literally on the IMDb image for a magic puppy. She literally gets above the title credit. Which is, of course, the Brady Bunch's own Cindy Brady. Is Susan Olsen as Rachel. She was the youngest Brady girl in the Brady Bunch. So as Cindy. You might imagine, she's a middle-aged woman at this point. You would never recognize her in a million years. She looks like the mom of every kid I like. Just imagine that kid who ate his boogers on the bus. It's his mom. That's what she looks like.
Honestly,
right?
She looks like the bus driver.
or just a bus driver. Yeah, she just looks like that. She's going to turn around and yell at you. She lived a hard life. She smoked a lot of Pall Malls.
I mean, she's wearing a jean. She's wearing a jean jacket. She's a bus driver.
She does. She could go bus driver. You're right.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to talk about because there are some other people, but we'll get to them as we go. And frankly, they don't deserve to be discussed. Frankly, the people we just talked about don't deserve to be discussed. But so at the openings, yeah,
that's rough.
This movie should not exist.
Nice.
This movie is a grift.
It's a movie.
It is a grift.
A movie.
This movie is a movie in the same way that like a spam call is like somebody calling to try and steal your social security number is a birthday, happy birthday.
It's a movie in the loosest sense. Got it.
But Adam's mom, the opening scene is a POV shot. Everything is shot day for night in this as well, which is horrible. And they just put this like blue filter over everything, and it looks so dog shit. Adam is sleeping on like a mattress in his room, right? And you get this POV shot of someone lurking into the house. And you're like, this is weird for a movie called The Great Halloween Puppy Adventure. You're doing like a serial killer POV. But, and then she grabs his foot. So someone's going to get stabbed or fucked. Like that's what you're expecting here. But no, it's just Adam's mom lurking into his room to wake him up and say lines at him. That's all it is. Like, oh man, how like, oh, hey, I'm home from work. And he's like, oh, how was work? And then she just says a couple of like joke things about silly animals that she works at a animal hospital, a pet hospital or of some sort. She's a veterinary assistant.
Works after hours.
Yeah, late night.
And all of us pet owners know that there's so many late night veterinary hospitals.
Yeah,
there's like
she's an all-night vet.
People are just dying to take care of pets after hours. It's totally accessible. So does not cost $1 million.
Are you implying that she actually works for the mob and does a lot of those patch jobs when things go wrong on a robbery?
Oh,
she's the doctor who's pulling bullets out. That's why she gets to live in a big house. That's why
it's a John Wick. It's like the doc from John Wick. You know, you got to go in there, John Wick 3 or whatever that is. You got to go in and get stitched up.
Joe DeRosa in Better Call Saul.
Right. Yes, it might be that.
I'm just saying she might also, have a more sexy career, or she might be using her skills in a slightly different way that might also be enriching her. That's all I'm saying.
It's mob doctor.
Mob doctor could be, but she could still be a mob doctor, just a head doctor.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I hate about her character and her performance is she does not know how to act mom at all.
No.
She is constantly so flirtatious with Adam, who is supposed to be her son. It's incredibly awkward. And at first I was like, is this just me? Is this just me putting looking through a lens at this? Right. And then we watched the last like half hour, and Kate, my wife, was watching it with me, and she was like, why does she want to fuck him so bad? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm telling you. Like, it was not just me. I felt very validated.
So weird.
Yeah.
I like that your wife walked in at the end of the film and was like, ew, what are you watching?
I know. It was like, they were like, what is that? Even my kids like watched the last like 20 minutes and they were like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They're 7 and 9. And they were like, these people need to go to jail. But here's what you should say about this movie. Every single decision from a writer, director, or performance perspective is dumb.
Yes.
This like date card comes up early on to say it's October 30th. And it's like this stock sunrise, like sun glaring through the clouds, but they try to correct it and make it look like the moon. And I'm like, guys, you don't have a moon stock image you could use or a bit of stock footage. And then like this weird harpsichord music is playing. And you could tell they were like, they typed in spooky music, but they didn't pay for like the premium package. So they had very limited things to like choose from.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I hope you enjoy hearing the same 4 fucking background songs. For this movie, because that's all you're going to hear. It is weird though, that Harry Manfredini gets the music credit.
What?
On this. Yeah.
Why? So of Friday the 13th fame.
Yeah, right. Of the Friday the 13th movies, he gets the credit, but also it's music by Big Score Music, which is a music library.
Yeah.
So
I'm assuming there's a couple of small original pieces.
They must have tried to get away with using something, got a letter, and had to put that in there, and
had to credit
because
him. Maybe,
because there are different
not original,
versions.
But like, they borrowed some stuff, maybe.
Perhaps because this all to me, at least what I heard, was just garbage stock, background stuff that sounds like it could be in any kid's movie.
Or it's a different kind of scam because, so Harry Manfredini has tracks on this music library, right?
Yeah.
And then they go on the Big Score music library and they find him knowing that he has a name from the Friday the 13th films, and they buy the tracks off this library and they go, oh, look, we have Harry Manfredini on our fucking dumb puppy movie now.
You might be right.
I don't know.
But honestly, anybody buying or accidentally clicking on a dumb puppy movie, are they going to know or care who Harry Manfredini is?
No. But so I don't.
Again, this goes back to my point. There's no rhyme or reason to any decision.
Has 4 different titles.
Yeah.
Maybe this
There's
was
no rhyme or
consumers.
reason.
Maybe it was just to poison his IMDb credits.
I was going to say it's more likely that I feel like it is literally just they.
Sabotage.
Trying to put logic where no logic exists is like it's tricky because you're trying to piece together something that is chaos, right?
Or maybe it's a little more altruistic in that, like, obviously David DeCoteau has a strong background in horror and he knows a lot of horror. Like there's Evil Dead / there's an Evil Dead reference in this. So maybe he's just buying these tracks to put a little money in Harry's pocket, just to help him out a little bit. Maybe he's just helping out a friend.
I can't imagine a scenario where David DeCoteau needs to help out Harry Manfredini. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about
I don't
that.
know.
I don't know these guys personally.
Well, again, he's already going to the stock music library. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so if you're going to the store, you're going to, if you go to a distro, right, and you're buying beer, you would buy beer from people you know and you like to help them out rather than somebody you don't like.
Sure.
So I think that's what that's what he just did. He just went to the music library store and he said, "Oh, Harry, let me give you a couple bucks and I'm going to put all of your tracks."
That name. What a guy.
Yeah. Harry's a great guy.
A friend's a friend, right? A friend's a friend.
Yes,
and I'm just going to put all your tracks in all these dog shit ass movies.
The general feel of this movie is it's like an alien came down, knows nothing about life on Earth, then was given like a 45-second elevator speech on the concept of spooky, and then was asked to make a spooky movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just doesn't translate to humans.
No.
It just feels like somebody just had a extremely high level concept of what Halloween or you know, it was weird because this couldn't be more different, but that like weird, like Indian ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
It almost felt to me a little bit like that, in the sense where it's just like they missed some stuff, got lost in translation.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an American movie. I just think it got filtered through somebody who's brain damaged or just like it almost is like a you know, obviously this is 2012, so this wasn't the case, but it almost felt like the dialogue was like written by like ChatGPT or something like that. It just doesn't it's uncanny valley kind of.
I don't even think the dialogue was written most of the time. Like,
no, a lot of it was definitely improvised.
Yeah, and I think like DeCoteau just hired actors because it said improv skills on their resume, and he didn't check that. Yeah. He just took them at their word and said, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and they kept like little things, like they kept calling horror movies ghoul movies.
Yeah.
Like in certain scenes, or like zombie movies calling them ghoul movies. It's like no one calls anything a ghoul movie. Nobody's called it a ghoul since the 60s, right? Since like I Am Legend.
Right. And I thought it was very interesting that of all the times I talked about the movies or the horror movies that somebody was watching or whatever, there's never shots of the screen.
Mm-mm.
So they clearly had nothing in the budget to license another film. It was always like just referred to off screen, like, oh, you're watching this, you're watching that, or what. You never saw these quote unquote ghoul movies.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yes.
The easiest,
which is fine, but I thought it was funny because clearly it's because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck affording it. The classic fix to that in all the filmmaking is show Night of the Living Dead. Because you don't have to pay any kind of royalty to it. People do it all the time when they want to.
Or Carnival of Souls. That's why they show Carnival of Souls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or Nightmare of the Living Dead.
Anytime you want to put a little clout or production value into your film, you throw one of those movies on because.
And they didn't bother.
Yeah. They just couldn't even be bothered with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were too busy writing the script on the spot. Right. And I genuinely believe that. Which is fair.
That takes time. That takes time and effort.
There are my favorite part of this movie, besides the just juxtaposition between the way lines are delivered and what the situation called for, is the actual writing of the lines. Some of them are so nonsensical. There's no way that somebody read it twice.
Mm-mm.
Like we get one early on when they're talking about Ted, which is Eric Roberts' character, and he's going to show up because, you know, they just got done almost fucking the night before, you know, this mom and her son. They wake up and they're having pillow talk in the morning, and they're talking about her boyfriend showing up, and her boyfriend's Eric Roberts, and they're talking about how he's just like kind of I guess the character that he was supposed to be playing was like this kind of lovable.
He's too nice. He's just too nice and too predictable.
Too predictable, too nice, and doesn't really share his emotions. He's just kind of like an old-timey guy who just kind of like goes with the flow. But it's Eric Roberts, and he plays it like a sexual predator, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't jive with how you're trying to, like, he is such a creep that it doesn't jive with what they're trying to portray here. So one of the lines is, Ted is like this is Adam. Ted is like the moon or something. You know, always, you know, when he's always going to come up.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yep.
What are you fucking talking about? So Ted does show up, and he, I think Bob mentioned this, is the idea was that he always brings donuts. That's like a reoccurring joke. He always shows up with donuts.
Maple logs.
He's doing too much with his lips. Between the sucking the cream and icing off his fingers in a there's a lot of slapping of the lips. Then he does like a kiss you goodbye with those two same fingers. It's rough.
We've been forewarned in this scene that when Eric Roberts arrives, he will be bringing donuts. Yeah. So that's some sort of like Friday tradition.
Right.
And he shows up with said donuts. Okay. But then when he opens the top, and there's a cellophane window in this donut box. He proceeds through this entire bit of introductory conversation he has with the characters we've already met to finger and lick the icing off that cellophane window / box top in a fashion that is extremely uncomfortable.
I genuinely thought he was going to kneel down, put the cellophane window up, and we were going to watch from the other side his tongue lapping it off. I genuinely thought that was going to happen.
I watched this fucking movie twice, and it was only on the second viewing that I realized that he wasn't just finger fucking the donuts. He was actually just licking the icing off the top of the box because his motions were creepy and unsettling, and I had a hard time focusing on them. But I realized, no, in hindsight, he's just doing the icing off the top thing.
Yeah.
It's still super fucking weird. It's way too much for this movie, and I'm not happy with any of it.
No, it's uncomfortable. And here's the thing. You just get done with this uncomfortable Eric Roberts, a lot of lip work, sucking and lapping
fingers,
things up.
Lots of lip and fingers. Wow.
Then there's like these little Halloween transitions they use.
This is my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, you mean the PowerPoint?
Yeah, there's like a wipe cut. They use a ghost or a pumpkin. They use a witch one. There's all these different ones, but the best one is the ghost because it goes, ooh.
That's my favorite.
And it's like rules. Something really bizarre will happen. You'll be like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then it'll go, ooh.
Yeah.
It makes it way more fun.
It's the best punctuation to the nonsense of these scenes. It's just a little ghost to go, ooh. And you go, what?
Yeah.
This movie makes me so sad.
And so we get to press on because guys, we're 5 minutes into this.
I know we gotta go. I mean, admittedly, half of this film is the lady playing with the dog with Eric Roberts voiceover. So like, it's literally half of the film. They split scenes up with it. They do a scene between Adam and the girl, back to the lady with the dog. They do a scene with the bullies, back to the lady with the dog. It doesn't like it just boop, 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 fill it.
Just straight up like furry style.
Yeah, it's just padding. It's just padding and filler. Like there's no like when these scenes are happening.
No, I mean it's like the dog's getting it furry style. It's like it's a fur film.
It's it's sexually charged.
I thought you said freestyle, not furry style.
No.
It's
Eric
sexually
Roberts'
charged.
persona gets serviced in this film.
Oh yeah. His voiceover gets really salacious for a family film.
It really is. Yeah, it's something. There's half the movie right there. We've just jumped it. We're like midway through at this point.
I do need to talk about Molly because she's maybe my favorite character. She is a treat. Like I said, she's trying to do like a Kristen Stewart type situation. Mm-hmm. She's very like kind of like reserved and mysterious, and like the way she lives her line, she's like very uncertain about the way she lives her lines.
What's her accent, Brian? Do we have an answer for that?
I didn't get an accent.
She doesn't have an accent. She's an American who can't act, Bob. God damn it.
She's not. I don't think she's an accent. I think she's just. No, I think she's just Southern California.
Is that what that is?
I just don't. Yeah, I don't get an accent.
Is idiot.
It's an inflection more than it is an accent. She sounds like Tara Reid after licking a fentanyl patch.
That's what I got. I got Tara Reid vibes the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm choking, but that's okay. Fair enough.
That's what I get.
Yeah.
They also do these things where like they call the Necronomicon the Necromicon.
The Necromicon.
Yeah, there's just stuff where it's like, it's unforgivable.
And they do the whole Nictu, Baratu, whatever thing too.
Yeah, which is obviously from a lot of different movies, but I think most famously Evil Dead, the Evil Dead franchise. But
the day the Earth stood still.
Yeah, that's where it originates from. And then,
come on,
really?
Man, I'm dying.
Yeah. Bob, take a lap.
Yeah, myself, I'm dying.
Well, then Adam just degrades Molly.
Yeah.
We're watching Bob expire.
You could be seeing this on Patreon.
You could be watching the last moments of Bob's life if you sign up for Patreon.
He's turned beet red with fucking choking on 211. It's crazy. I've never seen this happen.
The Day the Earth Stood Still is a fantastic movie.
It's a tremendous movie.
Yeah.
It's right up there with It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. And also
but I digress.
Also, we're talking about the original Day the Earth Stood Still, not the Keanu Reeves remake. The original.
The original, which is a fucking phenomenal film.
Yeah.
It's right after Citizen Kane. That is a great movie.
Yeah.
But it really is. More people should see that. I'm sorry. Continue.
So Molly is she's supposed to be like a nerd, like too smart for her own good, but it doesn't translate. She's incredibly stupid. And like Adam is supposed to be the silly, like nerdy, like horror nerd, like almost you can imagine him being like one of the like the what's the name of the character from Scream that's kind of like the lore keeper type of kid? What's the hell's his name? Jamie Kennedy's
character, Randy.
Jamie Kennedy-ish type of, you think he's going to be this eccentric type of horror nerd, but again, he's just like this Justin Bieber wannabe moron who can't act, and is like, he's so not funny, it hurts. You're like, it hurts how unfunny he is.
He's very uncharismatic.
Really
is.
He's got he's got little brother energy. Like he does. He's got 12-year-old little brother energy. You're just like
little bro energy, trying to show off for the babysitter. True. Yeah, he's trying to show off for the babysitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But like he's brain damaged, and so is she. They're both, between them are both mind-numbingly stupid. But then like, because she is supposed to be the smart one, and he is supposed to be kind of teasing her for being like too smart or too nerdy, but she doesn't come across that way. It really feels like she's punching down.
Yeah.
And it really feels like cruel, and it's very uncomfortable.
It is.
Molly has a spell book, you guys, as in case you're wondering.
What?
Yeah, she's got a spell book. And also, I need to mention, this is unrelated, but it makes sense, with what we were just talking about. They never make eye contact. Nobody makes eye contact with anybody in the whole movie. Nobody feels like they're ever talking to anybody. So this just kind of setting the tone here. But she has a spell book. And they talk about it, and okay, it's fucking, Chekhov's spell book, right? So they do have apparently. Here's what happens. This doesn't make any sense. So if you don't follow, don't feel bad. Here's what happens. Molly's parents have a cabin in the foothills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Linda, Adam's mom, is having some thoughts about Eric Roberts' character, right? About what's Todd, right? Ted. Having some thoughts about Ted. Up to this point, we just think Ted's a great guy. So they do a terrible job of communicating that there's any problems here. So she comes up. They're talking about
there is a little bit of conflict there. Hold on. There is a little bit of conflict because he's kind of boring.
Yeah, that's the conflict.
Well, yeah, but that's like the worst. Yeah, but generally speaking,
too nice.
Yeah, but he's a nice
Mom,
guy.
He's not trying to get frisky with you. He's probably, he's probably too nice.
He's too. That's the problem with Ted. But this is the day before Halloween, and they're talking Adam. It's his favorite holiday. Blah blah blah. There's this whole dumb scene about him wanting to decorate the yard and all this stuff.
He wants to have his movie night.
Yeah, he wants to have a movie night.
Mm-hmm.
Linda says, "No, I need to take Molly's parents up on their offer tomorrow to go up to the woods, and Adam has to come because I need to have a talk with Ted about how he's too nice at Molly's parents' cabin, and it needs to happen on Halloween, which is the next day."
Yeah.
It couldn't make less sense.
It's the most convoluted thing, but honestly, it's also not the most convoluted thing in this movie. The number of times I was upset at having to rewind the film because I was just like, it just didn't go in. Like whatever, like all the dialogue and everything, it just bounced off the front of my head and didn't go into my brain. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
It doesn't compute.
Yeah.
It doesn't compute because it's not human dialogue, right? Like I said, it's alien dialogue.
These are not real people.
Right. And then a fucking witch would fly across the screen and I'd go, oh, God damn it. The scene's over. I got to go back now.
I got to go back because I don't know what just happened. So there's these two characters, they're my favorite characters. I just started referring to them as the Twinks, but they refer to them as the twins, but they're clearly two young men who are undoubtedly in gay porn. There's no way they're not, right? I haven't looked this up.
I did.
Wow. No, I mean,
I did a little look.
Wow.
I did a little look.
Yeah. Brand. Wow.
Yeah.
Nope. Got it. I'm dying here.
I did a little looky-loo on the Twinks. The one, and I need the audience. I mean, you guys can do this too, but I need the audience to follow through with this. Okay. You watch this movie and then go on the IMDb. You click on Ryan Greco, and under his other titles that he has is another David DeCoteau film called Badass Showdown. Sure. And I need you to just visit the IMDb page of Badass Showdown to see what it's all about, because literally the second picture in the photos section of Badass Showdown is just a bunch of shirtless dudes all sitting on a porn couch together. And that's how you know it's a David DeCoteau film. That's what he really wants out of life. He doesn't want to make Halloween cat time. He wants to have a bunch of shirtless dudes sitting around doing nothing and trying to act with each other. Also, Cynthia Rothrock is somehow in this film.
They are two. It's like they knocked on the door to their neighbor's house. A gay porn was being shot, and two of them just came out mid shooting a gay porn movie, and we're like, "You want to be bullied?" Like that's what happened. So their names are Nikki and Chad. I don't know. I wrote that down. I might have made it up.
One of them is Nikki.
Sounds right.
And the other one is
Nikki and
the other one is Chad.
Okay,
so
good.
You got it.
Good. I might have made that up, but I got it right. So their whole participation in this movie makes no sense. What they're doing makes no sense, and ultimately becomes the culmination of the entire movie in the most insane way possible. They decide they're the neighbors who it's never established whether they're related. You think they're brothers, but then later on they say they might not be related. And I think that was a suggestion that like they're gay.
It's they're like revealed later they're not brothers. They were just evil.
They just 69 in a bathtub somewhere and then or something, just come out. Yeah. So they are going to make a haunted house, but all they've ever done is just they steal things. Yeah. They just come up to people and say, I take your things.
Right.
This is my thing now. And they're not violent. They're not even really threatening. They just are social terrorists.
Yeah.
Who walk into people's life, say, my thing is your thing is my thing now. And I think that I get the feeling they both have suffered some sort of massive CTE, has some sort of brain trauma, and no one wants to like correct them. So they just give them their things.
Well, they're also like, they're saying they're making a haunted house, but they are just like in a garage. Like
they're not making a haunted house, guys. They're laying things in spots in a garage.
Yeah.
It's a very low rent fuck dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a dirty garage where these two butt fuck, but also they are going around the neighborhood harassing people for decorations. And they're just like
shaking them down in a way where it's, again, they're not threatening them. It's social terrorism. They're going, can I have thing? And then the people go, it's our thing, Nikki. And then he goes, buy me thing. And they go, right.
It's literally being harassed by the biggest 6-year-olds in the world because they're just doing 6-year-old things. 6-year-olds are like, a cheese? A cheese? You're like, yeah, I guess so. Like I was eating it, but
it's like you're sitting there, you crack a delicious RC cola, right? Imagine that. Nice one day. And they come up and go, can I sip it out? You go, I guess.
I mean, I was drinking it, but you just don't have the capacity to understand, like I'm enjoying it.
And then you hand it to them to have a sip and they walk away with it. Yeah. You go, shit. I guess I'll go get another one out of the fridge. Yeah.
But
so that's what Nikki and Chad do, but they're like 24-year-old twins.
Yeah. They're 24-year-old buff dudes, so they should know better, but they don't.
It's very strange.
It's so funny.
The decorations.
Well, no, here's the thing. They don't even get decorations the first time because Adam is so aware that of like how developmentally delayed they are. He just gives them a box of newspaper and then they go put the newspaper up.
Well, this is the thing too. This whole, oh my God, it's so, we're unraveling things that don't deserve to be unraveled, but it begs for it. So they go to them. We have decorations, and they go, all right, guys. And then they go, ha ha ha. And they carried away 2 of them, one on each side of this small box. And then they carry it away. And then the mom goes like, well, she comes up and she goes, I'll be the one to lay down the law and tell Nikki and Chad what's what. And then she goes out and they're like, but we want it. And they're like, Then she gets lost and goes, shit. Okay, fine. And then they take it. And then as he walks away, Adam goes, well, I got the last laugh because I just gave him a box of dirty old newspapers. And then the mom's reaction is like, haha, you're really clever. And then says something about she tries to do the turn lemons into lemonade thing, but she botches the metaphor. And then she is like, but now they're going to be madder than ever. But she's laughing. I don't know. The whole conversation gets lost. This won't be the last we see of Nikki and Chad. They're great. But here's the other one. One more thing. I got to say one more thing about Nikki and Chad. I know we're getting stuck on it, but it's so funny.
They're the best characters. It's okay to get stuck on them.
Yeah, they're by far the best characters in the movie. She goes at one point, I don't know which one is Nikki, which one's Chad. It doesn't matter. I feel that they're both Nikki and Chad. Mm-hmm. And he says to him, Bill, basically like, oh, this is my decorations. You can't, like, puts up a very slight little bit of pushback to them. And one of them says, be a good little neighbor, sheesh. And the line was supposed to be like, be a good little neighbor, sheesh.
Yeah.
Like basically saying like, what, you won't even let us? It's almost like it's supposed to be the scene from Hocus Pocus where Ice and whatever that guy comes up and goes like, oh, nice shoes. Can I try them on? And they try to like be mean, but ultimately steal his stuff. So they're trying to do that, but the kid didn't understand what sheesh meant when he read the script.
Right.
And sheesh is supposed to mean like, oy vey, like, exacerbate, some sort of like what's the word I'm looking for?
Just exacerbate.
Some sort of like exacerbated phrase, right? But instead, he thinks sheesh is what he's calling him.
Right.
As in, be a good little neighbor, comma, sheesh.
Yeah, like that's his nickname.
And says it just like that.
Yeah, he says it's like a nick. It's the Black Dynamite joke of, excitedly, I turn around. Like the guy who reads the stage directions in his, or the parentheticals in his script. It's a great bit in Black Dynamite. I love that movie. Go watch it. But
yeah, this is not intentional.
No.
This is again 2 coked out twinks just came off the porn set. They're greased up. They're exhausted. They haven't even taken a shower yet, and they're just like reading the cue cards, and they're really not delivering them well.
I think it happens another time in this film, and it's not the twinks who do it either. It's Eric Roberts. And it's buried in all the voiceover he's doing for the dog when he's doing salacious dog voice VO.
He clearly doesn't know what he's saying in some of the voiceover work.
No, he's just reading lines. Yeah, he's just reading lines, and then the editor wasn't paying attention to what they were putting in, because at one point Eric Roberts says, "Sad dog woof." So
he does.
I think he was supposed to make like an actual sad, like he was supposed to like, do. He was supposed to do one of those, but instead he just read it and said, "Sad dog woof."
And then I wrote that down later.
And then they just put that in the film.
They left it in. Oh man.
Oh, it's so good.
So mom takes her son to a fuck cabin, right? Because that's the only thing that makes sense. And then I wrote down Meg would love this movie, because all the incest. But so that's what's happening at this point. Multiple minutes of twinks laying decorations around an abandoned garage. Never mind. They come around to it, but at this point, I was like, "Do Molly and Adam just live in separate parts of the same house?" Like, I was like,
Perhaps.
they seem to live together. It's very strange. But then later, Molly does say, "You got to drop me off at my house or whatever." Yeah, we'll jump ahead a little bit. There is a line that Adam says something about this weekend is going to be a giant suck fest in the woods, which I was just like, "Guy, that's exactly what it feels like."
Yeah. That's the point Nikki and Chad just high-fived. Like, you don't see it. It's off screen, but they just hear it in their heads. They're like, Suckfest, yes! And fucking high-five each other.
Like, hell yeah, dude. They're like, wait, I was in Suckfest 7.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's a couple of dialogue things I have to call out at this point. And again, it's Eric Roberts. He's just phoning it in, and he's hammered, I think, because at one point he says they're talking about going up to the cabin because she wants to have a conversation, and he's like, okay, I guess so. And like, she's being a real blowhard about this. No one wants to go, and Linda's just being awful about it. And Ted's like, yeah, sure, fine. And he delivers the line, I'm not outside my I'm not outside my comfort zone, sweetie. I'm outside my comfort zone. Which doesn't make any sense at all. And then he says, I appreciate you taking the bull by the horns, talking to Linda, but I just hope my horns do more than honk. And I have no fucking idea what these lines mean. I don't know how they made them in.
He's just trying to be cute and funny, man.
But he's also like drunk. So like he's just saying shit that doesn't make sense.
Well, yes.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I feel like some of these lines were written on the spot by him. Like they don't feel like stuff that were written down in a script. But anyway,
quotes.
Right.
Yeah. Molly does a whole demon seance ritual for Adam, to cheer him up, apparently. Again, no, it doesn't make any sense. But Ted is, part of this scene, but he's clearly, it's being shot in a totally different location, right? So she accidentally shoots him in the face with a fucking Kamehameha energy ball, and he says the word Nito.
Yeah.
And it apparently is a magic word that turns him into a dog at that point in the seance. And then after he gets turned into a dog, again, well, I'll explain that in a second. He gets turned into a dog, and then Molly says, "We're so weird." And then looks down and goes, they're alarmed that a candle went out outside. I don't know. It's just, the whole scene is just like so, I don't know what else to say besides clumsy.
It's all bizarre. Bizarre. It's bizarre.
It's so clumsy because
you just know that he gets turned into a dog. That's all. That's all you need to know from like this 20-minute section of the movie.
Yeah. It's so clumsy though, because they put in more stock After Effects of like the lightning. Mm-hmm. Like they hit the drag down, they hit generate, and then they hit lightning, and then they put the lightning over top of the book, and the actress doesn't know that she should have seen the lightning and then the Kamehameha and then the fucking she doesn't see any of that. She doesn't know any of that happens. She just sees that there was a candle and then there wasn't a candle, so she says, I'll comment on that, I guess. That's what happened.
Yeah.
She doesn't see all the post-production.
Some guy just got an energy ball shot at him, and she's like, when did the candle go out?
Right.
It's like, why are you worried about the candle? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's so jarring.
Nobody saw this energy ball leave and go to Eric Roberts' house where he's just standing in the window.
And it's not like he just like immediately turns into a puppy. He just gets sleepy and lays down on the couch in his pleated slacks and falls asleep, and then wakes up on Halloween morning and he's a puppy. But when I say puppy, I mean full-grown English bulldog, like not a puppy at all. But they keep calling it, they very explicitly refer to it as a puppy. It is not a puppy. It's a full-grown dog. So Adam and his mom find the dog in the morning, and this scene is from no one's perspective. the voiceover of Ted is happening, but the line delivery is so half-assed from Eric Roberts that it's hilarious. So he's just woken up. So imagine this, guys. Hate to slow it down, but imagine this. You wake up as a puppy, okay? We've all thought this through. You wake up as a puppy, and his response is, "I'm a puppy. Please." What? Like, that is like literally...
Been there.
And right? Then they're like, a puppy must have came past, last night. And then they're like, yeah, it must know you're a vet. That's weird. We have a puppy now, right?
Which is shocking to Linda because she isn't actually a vet. She works on, injured gangsters. So it is weird that a dog would think that she's a vet when she clearly isn't.
Yeah,
she's the mob doctor. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So there's another line right after this that I thought was, again, I feel like I'm getting a lot of inside jokes from the dialogue that like a porn was clearly being shot simultaneously. And so they keep saying things like that are inside jokes for the cast. Because she goes at one
weird
point,
incest porn was being shot.
That was happening on screen. There are also people.
You guys, I know exactly what happened. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. There is a porn. It's being shot in the other wing of the house. But you know what happened?
Yeah.
You had the script supervisor of this film and the script supervisor in that film, and they were running in opposite directions. They ran into each other, and all the pages went up in the sky.
The pages, your chocolate got in my peanut butter.
That's what happened. And then they just mixed the pages.
Just got in my family film.
Oh, that's what happened.
Oh no. Your double penetration got in my puppy film.
Your stuck stepmom got into my fucking Halloween puppy film. No, that's why.
Well, literally, at one point, she says to him, Adam says, when my mom sets her mind to something, she does it hardcore. And like practically winks at the camera. And I was just like, Jesus God.
It's like, that's a bit much.
So now there's an extended scene of a dog walking and doing nothing. And like you guys said, now there's several throughout the second half of this movie. Extended scenes of Linda, what I can only describe as aggressively fondling a dog. There's also a scene, and they just act like, and the whole thing is overlaid with a voiceover of Eric Roberts just going like, "Oh yeah, oh fuck yeah!" Like he's just like it's so uncomfortable.
It's mostly a dirty call. It's like a dirty call from the 90s.
It's an obscene phone call, yeah. And then at one point, they don't even call this out, and I don't even know. Tell me if you guys saw this. At one point during this montage of puppy play, the dog is eating grass.
Mm-hmm.
Linda bends over and starts eating grass. They never comment on it.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see that?
It's just there's so much stuff that just happens, and then there's no.
Yeah. She bends over and starts eating a mouthful of grass alongside the dog.
She just matches the behavior, and they don't address it at all.
Yeah. Nope. They don't even mention it.
Because again, it's just like the lightning in the book. Eric Roberts didn't actually watch any of the footage of Linda and the dog playing together to accompany the voiceover appropriately.
Yeah.
He was just given a bunch of lines to say, and then he read them in his house and then went to sleep on his couch.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And he was clearly like a few drinks in when he did it. There's another scene where the twinks do the same thing. They just come back, they steal everything in this like awkward scenario. And like Linda tells them to leave, but it's in that like, we're going inside. It's supper time. We got to go eat supper, guys. You should go home. And they're not getting the cue. Like, it's like, again, it's that kid in the neighborhood that like doesn't know when to not do, like he doesn't understand the social cues.
Yeah. Adam, come out and play. No, Adam's got to go in for dinner. We stay play though.
No, Nikki, go home. Tell you got to go home. Your mom's calling. I think I hear him. but we play. We stay here. We take this. All right, okay, but all right, bye.
Okay, but we slide. Adam, go eat. But we slide.
It's just, it's so traumatic. And by the way, it's like this dramatic music happening over top. So they're like really suggesting that what they're doing is like sinister, but they never do anything even remotely dangerous or even threatening until a little bit later. But so the other thing is, you're getting obviously these like hypersexual Eric Roberts like grunting while he's being pet as a dog. But then also, it's not just that he is a puppy with the mind of a dog. You start to get suggestions in what he's saying that he likes puppy things now.
Yeah.
Like he is within one day adopted the life of a dog.
He's like 10% dog brained at some point.
Yeah. So they also do all these little voiceovers during their car rides. That are again just the actors improvising, and it's like three people who are huffing gas and trying to talk like regular people.
Oh my god,
and it's so unbelievable that they left some of this stuff in. And then there was a couple of scenes, guys, and I don't mean to be derogatory here, but there was a couple of scenes because the whole time I'm thinking like Molly, the actor, is who plays Molly, is like, she's probably 19, 20 years old, maybe 22. But then there was a couple scenes close up where I was like, is she 45? Is she 48?
Yeah.
I don't think she was,
No.
But there was just a couple of scenes where I was like, is she actually like 20 years older than Adam?
It was just like, it really is just like the way they filmed her. Because I know what you're saying. Because I noticed it too. I was like, why does she look so old in this scene? And it's just the way they filmed her, because they just like, they gave her.
You're probably right.
They gave her a bad camera angle, bad lighting, and like she had to do this thing where like she's tucking
light makeup. Gave her light makeup.
Well, they didn't give her any makeup. Probably she probably had to do her own fucking makeup. But she's like, she's doing this thing where she has to tuck her chin in, and it's giving her like a double neck because of the eye line they gave her. She's like doing a double neck, and it's like, oh, that they fucking like, she's not a good actress, but they also fucked her over. And that's David DeCoteau. He doesn't necessarily care about the male gaze as it is towards females. His male gaze, because he is an openly gay man, goes to the beefcake, and the beefcake will never look bad. The women, take it or leave it.
Genuinely just pissed that women have to be in these movies. Like, he wants, if he could make the entire cast, the mom, the son, the mom's boyfriend, everyone be like a 20-year-old twink, he would just do that, right?
Yeah.
But so then there's this one scene, and I only call it out because of just how, even amongst some of the other dialogue, how absurd it is. They stop on the side of the road to let the dog go out and pee, I guess. And they take, and then Adam and Linda, his mom, sit on the side of the road and have this thing and this conversation. And you figure out that Adam is like Adam is like a child of divorce. And they try to make him be this like kind of intellectual horror nerd, but like he's clearly a moron. And he actually says at one point the line, "It would probably make me less sadder." And I just really genuinely enjoyed that line. But every scene is, again, it just feels like every scene set up for fucking that doesn't happen. We get more borderline sex scenes between Linda and the dog, and more just wild ass headlines. Jump ahead a little bit.
I mean, all of the stuff with the dog gets weird when it's just like the gratuitous, like
rubbing the belly, and then he's saying stuff like, "Oh, lower." Yeah, like he's just saying really, really purposefully sexually charged things.
Yeah, and I get it. It's appropriate for the dog, but it's the human voice delivering the lines.
Right.
It's Eric Roberts' voice. If it was like, if it was
like Chris Farley,
Freddie Prince Jr.'s voice, like it wouldn't seem as weird. But it's.
it's Eric.
It's full throated. It is gross. It is weird, and it's purposely
you can hear
weird.
He's sucking. You can hear he's sucking on his fingers while he's doing it.
Like if It could only be be weirder or grosser if it was Gary Busey. It's the only way this could be worse. But also it would probably also be better somehow. So it would be a better bad.
Stop threatening me with a good time here. Now I'm all bricked up now, Steve. Jeez.
It just came to mind because of Ginger Dead Man. So I was just, it's the same type of feeling.
There's like a 10-minute scene about Molly explaining why she started calling the twinks the twins. And it doesn't need to be there. It's pure padding. Then Cindy Brady shows up halfway through the movie. She knows about the ritual, yada, yada. There's this extended, romantic montage. Again, there's more Linda and the dog. It really doesn't make any difference.
No,
you just get Linda's sexy stuff with the dog, basically.
Which it's hard for me to tell if the scenes with Cindy Brady are in her own actual backyard or if this is like a kind of like a Hocking Hills situation, but it's an off season. Like there's cabins to rent, but they're at a ranch, but like nobody's visiting at the moment. So you can just shoot on the cabin for a little bit.
Yeah. Nobody's going to notice. No one's going to make a big deal about it. Jumping ahead, Linda finally calls Ted because, of course, Ted, the human man, never showed up. So she just becomes alarmed about it now. He's there in dog form. And then there's a scene of her leaving a voicemail, right? And halfway through the call, she forgets that the scene is her leaving a voicemail. And she says, But then she remembers that she was leaving a voicemail and nobody would be talking to her. It's great. It's really cool. I was pissing myself. Cindy Brady, by the way, her name's Rachel, and she's the hippie nature neighbor, and Molly's parents, the neighbor to Molly's parents' cabin they're staying in, and she knows about magic, and she keeps saying how smart Molly is, and she's super stupid, which makes it really funny. And Rachel saved Molly as a kid or something, but like it's a non sequitur, doesn't matter. But they allude to that. This is another great scene where Adam is apparently so stupid that Rachel tricks him into thinking his hands are tentacles by just saying that they are.
Yeah.
It's like a look right behind you. It's an axe wielding killer, but it's, oh, your hands are tentacles. And he's like, and then he looks down. He's like, oh, good. They're not. Great.
He's looking down at them, and it still takes him a long time to process that they're not. And it's like,
yeah, he's like, wait, these are my hands. I'm looking at them. They're not. That means my hands aren't tentacles.
Yeah.
But it happens like somebody is typing the words into his brain.
Yeah.
So it takes a good second and a half. It's very noticeable. And you're like, what? He was the conceit is that he was genuinely scared that his hands were tentacles. And then the little ghost goes, ooh. Yeah. I was pissing myself.
It's a pregnant pause in such a way that I think they told him they were going to do tentacles in post-production. So give it time to react. Give it time for your hands to turn back to hands. But they never turned to tentacles in the first place. So he's just looking.
That's a good point. Yeah. I bet you're right.
But it's just so funny because he's just looking at his hands the entire time. And it's like, is this kid I think everybody is, but like,
are they doing peyote and we just missed that scene? Yeah.
It's like, is everybody on drugs?
You guys are being very generous. I appreciate that.
We're just trying to give them the leeway of just not being buffoons.
Understood, man. I mean, that is a reasonable guess. Yeah, give the guys the benefit of the doubt. That's honorable.
Yeah, there's a gas leak. You could just assume that might be the case in every scene.
There might have been stoned or out of their element.
There's an outside gas leak.
Yeah, one of those outdoor gas leaks. But here's the other thing. Ted is confused why they don't know that the puppy is him too.
Right.
At one point, they're like, why can't you see it's me? And it's like, bud, you're a puppy. But I like to call him a puppy. It's not a puppy, but it's so much funnier if you keep sticking with what they do and call him a puppy.
Right.
They do try to insert some conflict with Linda getting frustrated with Adam instead of trying to fuck him for a second. And she's like, you don't even know how good you have it. And he's like, and he runs out of the room. And like, that's supposed to be the conflict between them. But
I think it
never feels like conflict because everything that comes out of Linda's mouth feels so flirtatious. It's so uncomfortable.
She like wavers between flirtatious and confused, because it's another thing I notice is a lot of her lines have a lot of heavy editing around them because she couldn't get through lines just like straight through. Because like they give her, there's so many long-winded bits of dialogue that's like, come on, tighten this shit up. And she can't get through it, so like they edit it around her.
And she chews on a line too. Like,
so they're just editing around, and she's bumbling through lines. And then by the time she gets to the end of it, it's one of those things where like you have forgotten what that person has said. It's so long. Right. And then Adam just reacts and is like, I'm leaving, and then just storms out. And it's like his strongest line delivery is as he's storming out, Molly's like, do you want me to go with you? And like he just has a real cunty like way of saying no to her that is like,
he's like, no.
Yeah, like it is like, it felt like a real one of like, I don't want you around me right now.
I guess I can't deal with any of you right now. This next, like earlier on, they're talking about Linda's kind of frustrated with Ted because he's too nice or he doesn't like express emotion. But then it feels increasingly more throughout the movie that the suggestion is actually that Ted isn't like, they're not fucking. And that's a problem for Linda.
Yeah.
Like that dialogue between Linda and Molly where she's like, you know, when you want a guy to like you and they don't open up and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, he ain't, you know, he's an old guy. His dick don't work maybe or something.
Right.
Something's happening. But then the movie and what's happening in the movie is now suggesting that their sexual compatibility has never been better than when he's a dog.
Yeah.
like now their sexual issues are actually mended by the fact that he's a dog. That's the vibe I was getting.
Same.
Well, I assume it has to do with like the bulb, you know? Like,
the knot. We call it the knot up. We call it the knot up north.
Yeah. But that is like there's a clear sexual tension in this film that like the son is implying that Eric Roberts' character is not getting it done.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. It really is.
And like and Linda also confides that to Molly, and like they're trying to dance around it because this is still technically a family film.
But in the weirdest way possible. Right? Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And Molly feels so uncomfortable because the actress is uncomfortable.
And then like we're saying, the other,
as most of us are,
the other 50% of this film is the dog all over Linda. And so like, because you never see Eric Roberts all over Linda in a way, you know, there's actually a really uncomfortable bit in the earlier parts of this film where like Linda won't stop kissing Ted, and it's like the actress's choice of, you know, business in this scene is like she keeps kissing him on the hands and on the lips, and it's like, ugh.
Dude. Okay, so I was again very stoned, so I'm into this movie. I'm emotionally invested in this movie.
I went into this straight stone cold sober.
It was so interesting because now I'm playing 3D chess here in my head because I'm going, what's happening behind the scenes that's influencing these performances? And I'm like, Linda is slowly becoming this like villain in my mind. Like she is the deviant on the set who's like trying to seduce all the, you know, she's all over, you know, Eric Roberts. You know, Eric Roberts probably threw her a courtesy bang because he's Eric Roberts. He knows the business, right? But then she's trying to, you know, slide in there with Adam and Molly and like probably making everyone feel really uncomfortable. And in my mind, Linda just became this like almost predator type of person in the movie. And I'm like, so now I'm seeing all these scenes through that lens, and it's getting really sinister. But then Rachel, again, Cindy Brady, is explaining that they did some bad magic. By the way, we're spiraling towards the end here. Don't worry. Rachel looks, like I said, imagine, actually better description, Steve said, she looks like a straight up bus driver. Like she's just a straight up 1994 bus driver. And she's like, it's hard to take what she's saying seriously as some sort of like pseudo magic witch authority, because she's just speaking all these generalities. But essentially she says, you guys did some bad stuff. We got to fix it. It's because Ted said Nito, and now you got to say everything in reverse to reverse the spell and turn Ted back into a puppy, back to a human from a puppy. And the quickness in which Molly realized that Ted is the puppy is alarming. Because again, she seems brain damaged the entire movie. And then she's like, shit, guys, you know what happened? They're like, what? No, like, we have no idea what happened. Adam's lost. Yeah. And she's like, Ted's the puppy. Fuck, Ted's the puppy. And they're like, you're right, Ted is the puppy. And then they just go to the puppy. God. And they're like, Ted, we know it's you. And he's like, thank God, finally someone figured it out. It's just like, there's no way of ever knowing, because they're like, Ted said Nito when we said the last line. And we're like, how did you hear that? He was in the house. You were outside. How did you even know he was there, let alone what he said?
Yeah, but honestly, in this kind of movie, you would expect some sort of scene where like the puppy man makes a fucking message.
Right.
He spells it something out in kibble.
Like, hey, I finally break the barrier and communicate with the human world. It never really happens. It's just kind of like, it's just this random revelation at the end of the film.
Yeah, he never spills a box of donuts and tries to spell Ted with the donuts. That never happens.
Or pisses his name into the fucking cement or whatever. It never happens.
Nope. He's just like, he has really reserved himself to puppydom.
Right.
He's a puppy now. And he's just
he was clearly into it. And you know what? I'm not here to kink shame, but like, you do you, brother.
His life was 1,000 times better as a puppy. And also, I mean, they did set up in their defense that Ted is a really easygoing guy. And his status is, guys, I'm a puppy.
Yeah.
But there is a line, and it was literally 30 seconds after I turned the movie on, because I watched the first part of it and then came home and the girls were there, and I turned on the last 20 minutes of this movie, and 30 seconds after I turned it on, it was, wait, you're saying we turned my mom's boyfriend into a Halloween puppy? That is a quoted line, guys. It's a classic. I might get that tattooed across across my chest.
Yeah, right on your collarbone in cursive. Right on the collarbone in cursive.
Yeah. It's gonna say on my neck. Wait, comma. You're saying, comma. We turned my mom's boyfriend into a Halloween.
It needs it
on my neck.
It needs to be, like Bob said, it needs to be in cursive, but also it needs to be on like an unrolled piece of parchment paper that goes down there,
like it's the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, like it's a real
papyrus.
Yeah, like a real real scripture.
Yeah,
real scripture verse.
Yeah, like you think it's gonna be like 1 Corinthians, something. No, wait, comma. You're telling me. Anyway, they say basically you got to say this in reverse, and you got to do it on Halloween night, which this is Halloween, or Ted will be a puppy forever. So Rachel proves her magic by just doing a little mini Kamehameha outside her house on her back porch, which is kind of wild.
Tiny spirit bomb for Adam.
Just a little spirit bomb. Yeah, just like not Frieza size spirit bomb, just a little guy. But she says at one point they come in and they're like, hey, Ted, hey, puppy, we know you're Ted. And he goes, huzzah. I don't know why he says huzzah, but he does. I thought it was pretty funny. So they lie to Linda because, of course, Linda isn't going to believe that Ted's the puppy. So, there's a big surprise. Hey, Ted's coming. He's got a big surprise. His car broke down, blah, 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 whatever. And we got to go back home. So Linda's like, all right, let's go back home. And then there's a line, very sinister line from Ted the puppy that says, Linda. And he says it just like this. Linda, one way or another, I'm going to surprise the heck out of you. And does that mean that this dog is going to fuck this woman? That's how I took it, guys. That's how I took it. My mouth was agape at that line when I was
not off
watching
the table. Let's put it that way. It's not off the table.
He has like 3 options at this point. Turn back to Ted.
Yeah.
And surprise Linda with what he knows now that she likes and she's into. He can apply his puppy skills to their now new romance. B, stay a puppy. And then just,
B, stay
a puppy. C, stay.
Give it to her doggy style.
C, stay a puppy and fuck her.
I keep calling it a puppy. Anyway.
Puppy style?
It's just... it's just, if you're picturing this, it's a full-grown dog, and I love that everyone calls it a puppy. Anyway, it just sounds like so infantile. Like it's a puppy,
right?
Like every dog's a puppy. So Molly is on her way back, and to her house. Like she just dropped off at her house. She's getting herself. I got to get my book. I get my magic book, guys. What they read out of the book is 4 words. Why she needs to go all the way back to get the book, like she doesn't remember the 4 words. She already demonstrated that she remembers the 4 words. Yeah. Why does she have to go back and get the book? They know the 4 words. But she goes back to get the book, and the klepto twinks show up, and they're like, I has book, and they're like, she's like, no, guys,
we read.
I need that book, and they're like,
we read.
We want book. We like book, and
Molly tells story.
The book. And then they put it in their weird fuck garage, which is now their haunted fuck garage. And then they're like, they put it up on a pedestal like it's like they're pack rats, and they just found like a shiny marble, and that's their prized possession on the altar of their fuck garage. And they deliver their lines always smirking because they're used to the lines in the movies that they're in being sarcastic.
Right.
So they deliver the lines, and one of the lines is, imagine 2 guys. They are essentially like, what were the 2 from the South Park episode where they're the Hardy Boys parody?
Oh, yeah.
But they're just like,
I'm getting a clue.
They're like grinning at each other, and he's like,
I've got a clue. Do you have a clue? I've got a clue too. Oh.
Well, he goes, I like making people feel bad. Makes me feel bad. It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And he's just grinning.
My God.
And then the other kid, so he goes, I like making people feel bad. It makes me feel good. I like that. And then the other one looks at him and goes, I want to scare them a lot.
Yeah. Which, like, you could replace scare with fuck, obviously. And, just the way he's like, I like to make him feel bad. Is like, it's all so loaded with like porn context.
Very homoerotic. It's
Well, and then this is where we get Sad Wolf, which I was pissing myself at Sad Wolf. I did rewind a couple times on Sad Wolf.
Oh no.
Anyway, they have to go into the Twinks fuck garage to get the book. And this is when things like, again, it's so off the rails. But at this point, they're assuming almost no one's watching the movie, right? So they're just phoning it in even more than the rest of the movie at this point. And they have to walk into the garage, but they have to come down the stairs for some reason. They come down the stairs, and there's like a bat, right? Just a rubber ass bat falls down on a string. How it did that, because it's literally just a string, falls down in front of Adam. And Adam shits his pants. Like, it was just terrifying. It's so much to the point where Molly's like, "Are you okay?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I just got to get out of here." And we're like, "Aren't you like this horror nerd? You are in two like potentially mentally handicapped kids."
You know what?
They're dropping bats from the ceiling, and you are acting terrified.
I don't want to call them mentally handicapped. I want to call them bigged. They're two bigged twinks because they both.
Yeah, that's better. I don't want to insinuate anything, but they genuinely feel lost. Like they're not devious. They're not here to they're not criminal masterminds.
They both hit the Zoltar machine hard, and now they're doing a haunted house, and they're just like, you come haunted house, come look. The other side,
they're just in over their heads, right?
The other side of this is why is Adam scared of his own decorations?
Yeah, they stole these decorations from him.
Yeah, he should recognize all of them.
And they're acting like this is a harrowing thing going through this haunted house. There is a bat that swings down, or it's a cat. It's something. It's made out of a shoebox. There's another thing.
A bat, and then there's a spider.
It's a spider, yeah. A spider that's made out of a shoebox that comes down, and they're like, holy fucking Christ, like this is terrifying. And then the twins jump out, and they're like, hey, and one of them's a cowboy.
That's why I wanted to say they've been bigged, and like this is what happens. Like this is what really happens in the world when you're 6 and you get bigged, is that you have to live in like some shoddy garage. Because nobody will actually hire you the way Tom Hanks got a job.
Right.
They have to live in a garage, and they're just like hanging out.
Out sexual assault for the rest of your time.
It's just like it's a tragic story. It's much more tragic than Big would suggest.
It is. It's actually
so sad,
very painful and taxing. Yeah.
Well,
it's so sad.
Well, then the next line is because they're like, "Oh, there's our book," and they're like, "It's our book now," and he's like, you're gonna be our victim. And we're going to kill you over and over again and spray with fake blood and guts and stuff. That's the line. That's a quote.
I know.
And then
it's so wonderful.
It's quaint.
And then the other one is like,
so sweet.
The other one's like, you better get out of here or I'm going to beat you off. Up. That part he doesn't say, but he does keep saying he's going to beat you up. But he's like saying it kind of like with a little side eye, like I'm going to beat you up.
Right.
Get here. I'm going to beat you up. They keep saying beat you up. And then
we're going to fight.
And then Molly literally does.
We're going to fight so hard.
I'm going to fight the hell out of you. And then they literally, Molly just does magic to them. She just shows them magic. She just shows them magic. She just goes, here's a little spirit
ball. Have you not
ball.
had a girl named Molly show you magic? I've seen a few tricks. I'm just saying.
She does. She really just shows them a spirit bomb, and then they freak the fuck out.
It's the first time I saw something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would have probably reacted similarly, but
expanding my horizons.
But then they go back, they say the words again. They didn't need the book.
Klaatu, Baratu, Nikto.
Yeah, they say it, but they had to say it in reverse or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they go back and Ted the puppy is gone.
Yeah, he just disappears rather than the first time when he just falls asleep and turns into a puppy.
Yeah.
Now he has to disappear.
He disappears. He does, yeah.
Well, I took it as he was in the bedroom and Linda went in and he wasn't in the bedroom anymore, but he had just turned into Ted back on the couch and she just didn't look and see Ted on the couch.
Agreed.
How that's possible.
110%. Yeah.
But it's still so dumb. But then Ted, of course, Ted turns back, right? And then all the relationship issues are solved somehow. Ted has a little bit of a, speaking of friggin' Jimmy Stewart, he has a little bit of a Jimmy Stewart running down, saying hello to the old bank or whatever, the old fucking loans, something loan. He's just like, I'm going to be open and I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to be a real good boyfriend now and I'm going to love you.
And my
be
cock
open.
still has the knot. That's the most important part. It's like, well, I still got the part of me that you really liked.
Yeah.
Linda, do you want back shots? Is that what you want, Linda? I'll give you back shots all the time.
You scurvy little spider.
Old Teddy boy. That's what he's here for now. Old boy whiz.
Old Teddy here's giving you the back shots. I know that's what you're looking for.
Every time a bell rings, Steve gets his back shots.
A dog fucks a human woman somewhere in the hills, somewhere in the valley.
Consensually in Minecraft.
Then the twins come back with all the decorations, and they're very scared of Molly and Adam now because Molly's got magic powers. We get a little bit more day.
She's a bitch at this point.
Yeah. She's a Vavitch. They get a bunch. We get a bunch more day for night. Them sitting on the couch watching the horror movie marathon or whatever. Linda can't find the puppy, but luckily she's stupid, and they give like a 5-minute scene explaining what happened to the puppy. Of like,
it's so long.
Rachel took him.
The fake phone call.
Oh my God. Rachel took him and then explained. And it's just this, it's like a 5-minute explanation to explain to Linda. So Linda wasn't worried about the puppy. And it's like, who cares? Just say a thing. Just go, oh, Rachel took him. He lives with Rachel now. They'd have been like, oh, okay. But instead it just goes on and on and on.
Explicitly, they go way out of their way to put a bow on the end of that fucking plot point. Yeah.
And then there's kissing with Adam and Molly, as you might expect, and Linda and Ted, and none of them know how to kiss like regular humans because they've only ever done porn kissing, and it's very awkward. And then the credits roll, and that, my friends, is the masterpiece. That is the Great Halloween Puppy Adventure, aka a Halloween puppy, aka a magic puppy, guys. It is a treat. It's got all the major food groups. It's got implied bestiality. It's got twink, kleptomaniac twinks. It's got
big twinks.
It's got spooky transitions. It's got day for night. It's got all the things that you're looking for.
Day for night, for sure.
Reading things in the script that shouldn't be read.
This movie does not contain any actual penetration was kind of surprising to me, because I felt like 60% of it was like just straight up like porn lead up.
You really always thought that if it happened in the next scene, you wouldn't be surprised.
Nope, not at all.
Right up to the very end. If the very last scene, after an hour and 20 minutes of me watching this family movie, all of a sudden 5 guys came in butt naked, hard as a rock, and then just started sword fighting, I would have been like, there it is, finally. Like that's just what I thought was going to happen the whole time.
That resolves the tension in the script.
That's the first thing that makes sense in the movie.
If somehow just in the editing it was left in that the two twinks were watching porn and you just saw a boob or a cock on the TV and then it just got left in the editing because nobody was really paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, I would believe it. I go, oh, that's weird, but whatever. Oh, here comes a spooky ghost.
Weirder things happened. Like more obscene things happened.
It's,
but guys, I hope you enjoyed
baffling.
It. I would suggest if you've got some potent, if you're gonna like do some bong rips, like you're gonna get after it.
Okay.
And you want something to watch and you just want to giggle like a goddamn idiot, go put this on. You're going to like it. Do not watch it sober. It's
agreed.
Tough. I mean, you'll still, if you're in the right state of mind, you'll still giggle. Even when we watched the last 20 minutes and Kate was watching the last 20 minutes with me today, even a couple of times she was like, what the fuck? Like she was kind of laughing at it.
Yeah.
But you got to get in the right state of mind. You can't go in acting like this is a movie because it's really not.
You're not about to watch Air Bud or any shit like that.
This
You're
is
about
a
to watch
comedy of errors.
Yeah. So I have to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to do this earlier, but frankly, I ran out of time.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to watch at least one of the, the Wrong movies that this guy directed as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it, I think there's like 26 of them?
Yeah, 25, 26, something like that.
Oh, God.
Did either one of you guys watch any of those? Because
no.
Okay.
Nah.
I am at this point, I am absolutely morbidly curious to see what those are like. Because I know it's it's a Vivica Fox. Vivica A. Fox, produced and stars in most of them.
Right.
I am just absolutely fucking morbidly curious at this point. What could that shit be like? Because again, Uwe Boll. This reminds me of Uwe Boll. This guy's got a shtick. He's got a fucking model. He's sticking to it. He's doing it. He's Canadian Uwe Boll. I now I'm kind of curious.
Mm-hmm. I'm not willing to give him the Uwe Boll title because one, his career precedes Uwe Boll.
Mm-hmm.
So he is David DeCoteau is his own thing. If anything, he's almost like a resurrection of Ed Wood. The way he will just slap together a film just for money and to get it done to make a client happy. Because like you're saying, all those Wrong films are for Lifetime and Vivica A. Fox. He does all those for those.
They must make money, right? There wouldn't be that many if they didn't make money. Yeah, exactly.
They make him money at least. They make Eric Roberts money. They give Eric Roberts his drinking money. Mm-hmm. He does all the Full Moon and Charles Band films for those guys to put that money in his pocket. So he just works to work. I fucking do the same thing, man. That's why I got a job. I got a job to eat. Yeah.
And it keeps Eric Roberts from beating me up. I can pay him off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With the exception of all of the just open male gaze stuff he does in, which, I don't think it's necessarily sinister. It's definitely just to play to his own tastes of filming beefcake. He just wants to film beefcake. I don't think he's been accused of doing anything sinister like Bryan Singer. Mm-hmm. He just likes filming beefcake films. That's all it is. Yeah. So that's just his fun time.
He's a little pervy. I'm here for it.
Yeah. But it's just slime because he also did sorority, slime bowl-orama.
Yeah.
So that's slime too, which is just that's tits and ass.
That's fun. But that's fun. That's fun pervy. That's not creepy pervy. Yeah. That's fun pervy.
It's got Linnea Quigley in it, but it's also got a jive talking little. What is he? He's not a. What do they call him? He's like a gin type of situation, but that's not what they call him.
Yeah. But do they call him an imp? Maybe
it's an imp. You're right. They call it an imp.
I think it's an imp. But
yeah.
Is that Gary Oldman and Tiptoes?
No. That's just a little person.
That's different. Well,
that's just cultural appropriation.
This is a little person.
This is a puppet.
That's a movie.
Cultural appropriation. The movie. This in Slimeball Bowl-orama. It's a puppet. It's a little jive talking puppet. It's pretty good.
Jive talking puppet. Grant's wishes.
I do.
If I can just suggest for Bob, if you want to dive into these Wrong movies, maybe start with 2016's The Wrong Roommate because it also stars Stephanie Szymanski, and then you can figure out whether or not she has an accent or if she's just dog shit at acting.
Oh no!
Well, I just looked up another one here that I'm going to check out. That I just went down through randomly, and I was like, I want to see what some of these are about. It is a movie called 90210 Shark Attack from 2014. It also has our girl Stephanie Szymanski in it, along with some other. It has Donna Wilkes. She's been in a couple of things, but I think the cover looks like it has a giant shark, but then the one line description gives me enough to know that it's a real bait and switch. because, no pun intended, because it is students encounter a haunted shark tooth. So there will be no sharks. It will just be a shark's tooth. And spookies will happen.
Oh, no.
That's what I think.
If I had to guess.
Yeah.
There won't be any sharks. There wouldn't be any sharks interacting with the actors.
Mm-hmm.
But there may be like dream sequences that have like stock footage of sharks. And it's like that's what's possessing one of the students to turn them into a killer.
Yeah.
And then they do kills with the shark's tooth.
Well,
but there no sharks. No sharks.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the stills, and it looks like a porn. All the stills look like a porn.
Yep.
So.
It's porn all the way down.
Yep.
I mean,
all right, guys.
It's all porn.
It's all porn. Everything's porn to someone. That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, here we are wrapping up another Minisode. I hope you enjoyed a Halloween puppy / the great Halloween puppy adventure / a magic puppy. Hope you get down a real DeCoteau rabbit hole as well. Tune in next week. What do we got going on next week?
Are we going to do Thanksgiving next week?
I think we're going to talk about Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about the upcoming, because I think it's going to release right at the end.
Should be
of
releasing the 17th.
Yeah. By our buddy. Oh God, why is his name escaping me? I'm picturing his face right now and can't think of his name. Who the hell?
That's crazy. Eli Roth.
Oh my God, I can't think of his damn name. We are going to talk about next week, releasing on the 17th. We're going to go see it. We're going to talk about it. Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, which is a dang old Thanksgiving themed slasher movie. So I'm excited for that. We'll see if it stands up to the likes of Thanksgiving.
Nothing can.
And other such.
Tough. That's tough.
Was Blood Fart Lake, was that a Thanksgiving movie? Why do I have that in my head that had something to do with Thanksgiving?
No, you're thinking, isn't it Blood Fury? That's the Thanksgiving movie. Where it's the twins.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting that mixed up with Escape from Blood Fart Lake. Well, Poultrygeist is not a Thanksgiving. That is poultry themed, of course. That would fall into the subcategory of poultry-themed horror movies. Anyway, check it out. We're going to talk about Eli Roth. So it's getting a lot of promotion. We'll see if it's any good. But we're going to talk about that next week, as we will be leading into the week of Thanksgiving, guys. Once again, this is a great time to check us out on the Patreon. If you haven't already, go over there, subscribe. $3 a month. Get you some cool stuff. $5 a month will get you even more cool stuff in that Patreon exclusive podcast. And either way, you'll get an opportunity to suggest for us some Christmas horror movies. And even if it doesn't show up in the showdown, we talk about a lot of different Christmas horror movies around the holiday season. It's kind of fastly becoming like one of my favorite subgenres of horror is holiday horror. I fucking love it.
There's so many coming out too,
dude. It's insane. I swear the number of holiday themed horror movies that has like doubled or tripled in the last like 3 years. So there's a lot going out there. If you find a good one, reach out to us, at Halloween's Forever on the social medias. And then, once again, if you, I don't know if I mentioned at the top of the show, but if you participated, which many people did, which we appreciate, in our 10K giveaway for our 10,000 followers on Instagram, we'll announce this week some winners. You win some free video games, which is kind of fun as well. Bob, once again, remind the folks, where can they find you guys?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Chumpzilla8, and you can find the Hops and Box Office Flops podcast at Hops and BO Flops on most of your social medias. And again, thank you, gentlemen, for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've had a blast. But please know that I don't want to watch any more puppy movies. Please.
Well,
no.
Listen.
No more.
You come up short, you got to take your medicine. So can't guarantee anymore. Can't guarantee if you show up for another showdown, there ain't more puppy movies in your future. I can't make a guarantee like that, but I appreciate you coming on either way.
Next time, don't vote Brian. That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Lesson learned.
Puppy movies.
Lesson learned.
You get puppy movies. Next time, you're gonna get a very puppy Easter or whatever the fuck. I won't hesitate to do it.
God, no.
I'll do it to you.
Next time you get a husband for Christmas.
Next time you get a puppy for
Not
a husband. Next time you get
Next
time you get a Halloween Puppy Adventure 2, a puppy for a husband. Linda's follow-up. All right, boys and ghouls, for the Halloween Forever crew, I'm Brian.
I'm going to go download Petticoat Planet and get a good tug on.
And I'm confused.
All right. See you next time. Bye.